Oh shit, I'm using the wrong expressions. Hello everybody, hello Sunny, Drake, it's lovely to see you again. Who, wasn't it their last stream like a week ago, like, just like it's scheduled though? Gonna be real, I have been kind of bad at streaming lately. Also, Kronos, Suave, Oro, Leg, Alice, and Angel, thank you all so much for coming. I'm very grateful. I know it has been, the last stream was, I think, the 21st, which was, a while. There's explosions. Yeah, I made an explosion redeem yesterday. Joy, when are you good at streaming? Look. Always. Always. I'm always incredible all the time. I did it literally 10 minutes ago. And so I had to give someone a replacement for the employee redeem, you know? We got bricks, we got explosions, there are now various ways to maim, injure, and otherwise kill me. I'm glad all of you- it's peak. Thank you. Yeah, explosions have no cooldown. Yeah. You can absolutely spam them. Brick is 2K now? Brick has always been 2K. Yeah, I might lower the sound effect volume for it just so it's not too loud, but hello Draco as well. It's lovely to see you all. Welcome back. I'm really sorry it's been a while. I've been really sick. And am I dumb? Honestly, you might just not be paying attention to the Brick is no longer stock based. I never could use it until now. It is still on a timer though. But yeah, I've been really sick and just generally not feeling great, but I'm feeling good now. I'm having a good time. I'm I was really looking forward to doing these streams because it's been a while since I've had a good chance to do some good voice acting. We got a good... I saw this game on Steam, it was like $3. It's currently 55% off on Steam, but since the trailer only has like 1,000 views on YouTube, which is wild to me. So I'm very excited to be showing off this game to you because it seems very, very cool. It's a murder mystery horror visual novel, and that is a good genre. I love a good mystery. From what I can gather, it's sort of horror visual novel, Ace Attorney. And that sounds sick as hell. Like, oh my god. With Yuri. The girls kissing. Yes, you did! Alright, I'll go show off the game, read the description for you all. Yuri, oh hi, there's the Aggie. It's up in the Discord if anyone wants to draw on it, but... The Chrono Jotter is a mystery and suspense visual novel that follows the steps of Ranabuki, a high school student as she investigates against the clock to discover who's killing her new classmates, and avenge the murder of her girlfriend. Are you ready for the savage feast of life and death? The game is currently 55% off, or 72% off, but offer only lasts for 16 hours, so if you're at all interested based on the little premise I gave, go check it out. It seems very, very cool. The ratings are very positive. There are currently 2 other people playing this game. Actually, I think one of them is me. There's one other person. Many years ago, the popular high school student An Sakura went missing in mysterious circumstances. Despite her uncountable efforts to find her, Ranabuki never lost hope of finding the girl in her arms once again. Now an old, dilapidated school in the middle of the forest is giving her that chance. But not at a low cost. Key features: investigate a series of murders. Bang! You got time travel. time-traveling Ace Attorney horror visual novel. I don't think you could make a game more oriented towards me. I think it's kind of fucked up. It's just a very, like, the games that I get very excited for. The time travel horror vision. Yeah, exactly. I'm so excited. And it's got girls kissing. I know literally nothing about this plot besides the Steam description. Oh, and the trailer. Here, I'll show it off real quick. Just cause. It plays at the start when you boot up the game, but the game has a really weird display window, so I can't actually show it off when I boot the game up. So, we're gonna watch it through Steam. I like it. Neither chaotic. Okay, I can't. Also, one thing I do want to say is, in all, like, this promotional material, the translation kind of sucks, because it was all originally machine translated. They did recently, and by that I mean back in March, do a complete overhaul of the English translation, which is very appreciated, but I don't think they updated the Steam page, so it still is a little bit jank. I'm just letting you all know. Life is strange. Yeah. I like this track, though. It's kind of a... girls. It's a banger. So Aoni, but better. What? What? The books take place in a time loop, but the characters themselves aren't aware that they're in a time loop. I believe this case it's more a single person traveling back in time, so it's more Ghost Trick than Aoni. And Aoni, the novel specifically, not the book, not the games, because the games don't have any time loop. It's just all just... There are a series of unrelated games that just happen to share the same characters and monster. And also there's the Battle Royale, though. We're not gonna talk about the Aoni Battle Royale. Orca layout. And with that, I think we're ready to boot up the game. Let's not... I don't want to delay any longer, because I'm genuinely really looking forward to this. Hop off, the voices of the mines are calling me. I must keep farming mirror dungeons and Limbus Company. Good night. I hope you have fun. Aoni doesn't have women's kissing. It's inferior by default. Exactly! I'm glad someone here gets it. I might want to lower the game volume a little bit more. Oh, those are not, like, you change... Okay, those are referring to... Sorry, the window kind of... Also, I don't know why, but the... Are there dragon... No. It's the most generic, like, stock, you know... Kids go into mansion has monster kind of plot you can imagine. I find the first game very charming in its simplicity, but it is very, very simple. Like, there is not really any hidden depths to it, you know? It is exactly what it says on the tin. It is not a good night. I'm in constant agony through this mind-shredding experience that is playing gacha games on mobile. Fair enough. But yes, the Chrono Jotter. Ooh. Also, the logo is very generic. I did give it like a little time graphic on my thumbnail because I thought it would fit, you know, the time theme, but it's kind of hard to read. Anyways, let us begin. This place was an enclosed space, without sound, and without light. Monobuki light laid there, curled up on the floor. Her chest rose and fell gently in time with her breathing. She seemed to be asleep. Okay. Through save slots? I didn't actually look up if there are multiple endings. Please, God, let there not be multiple endings. Oh, God, it's a visual novel. There are gonna be multiple... Oh, God. Also, I don't know if you guys can tell, but the button, like, menus are, like, really weird. It scares me. I don't... Yeah. Don't know if that's good. Yeah, I feel like I might accidentally hit a button by accident, I'm gonna be real. Let her wake on her own. She can get some eep. Hydrated. I didn't want to burden Ron's mind any further, so I decided to let her wake on her own. After a moment passed, the ice-cold floor suddenly began to steal away Ron's body heat. She shivered. Chrono Jotter just makes me think of Hagma. Not entirely unrealistic. Fair enough, honestly. Then Ron opened her eyes and rose from the floor, spurred by the cold. She hugged her shoulders tightly and looked all around, but she couldn't see a thing. She tried to remember just what had happened the last time she'd been awake, but found only a strange mist over those memories. And within that mist, a single silhouette stood out. A girl in a school uniform with an open notebook in her hands. Ron stared at that silhouette, now acutely aware of the dire situation she was in. It had been too long since she'd last eaten a page from the notebook. What? Her heartbeat, the pain from her solar plexus, and her perpetually sweat-stained face all reminded her that her symptoms were about to act up again. Ron tried her best to ignore her increasingly frenetic heartbeat, and with a practiced hand, pulled out a notebook from a hidden pocket on the inside of her jacket. She gently caressed the rough leather cover of the notebook, and her wildly beating heart settled down a little, like a clownfish returning to its anemone. She wanted to open the notebook, but given how dark it was, she decided not to for the moment. I need to find some light. She held the notebook under her left armpit and raised her right hand, trying to get an idea of the room's size through touch. But it turned out she hardly needed to raise her arm at all to touch the ceiling of this place. Ron was left with no option but to press her right hand to the ceiling and slowly shuffle forwards. She confirmed that this enclosed space was extremely narrow, as if it was a coffin that had been custom fit to her size. Ron decided to give up on escaping for now. She sat down on the ground and pulled her cell phone out from an inner pocket on her jacket. She turned on the Fuck. I am stumbling over my words a bit, and my throat is kind of dry. I am sorry, my voice feels a little bit awkward today. She turned on the phone's flashlight and checked what she was wearing. A winter-styled school uniform. A winter-styled school uniform, it turned out. She tapped the screen a few times trying to figure out her location, but the no signal indicator on the upper left corner left her stumped. Ron wiped her sweat, illuminated the notebook, and flipped to the page where her personal details were recorded. What? Ronabuki, a late Heisei era? Investigation 3, a Clarity 3, Charisma 3, temporary points, currently suffering from damaged memory, but clearly understands that her goal is to find her girlfriend, Sakura. Suffers from schizophrenia and hallucinates vividly when under pressure. Long-term use of olanzapine and therapy conducted by Sakura have helped with her recovery. Receives systematic training in logical analysis and deductive reasoning, but memory loss may lead to impaired abilities. She licked her lips, staring at the clearly questionable listings here. Fuck! Clearly questionable listings there, and decided to try her best at performing a recollection to warm up her brain, if nothing else. Oh, what the fuck? Why is the text cut off? Alright. The notebook has new information, and a new notification will appear here. OMG Joy! AJ, hi! And Cactus, hello! Yuri is already peaked, though. Yeah, I agree. Click on the notebook and flip to the corresponding page to check on new information. Oh. Recollection. Ronabuki can use the journal to substitute herself into previously read books or events she's experienced personally and engage in calibration of her visual acuity, central nervous system, and brain gray matter. However, the results of doing so may often diverge from her expectations. Oh my god, UI maze. Yeah. I mean, I appreciate... Okay, it may be a bit of a UI maze, but look at the little doodles! Look at the little doodles! Little kitty! I'm sorry, but it's peak. Kitty, where? Right there! Look at it! Fucking kitty. Okay, I really like all the little details in this. Like the characters leaving notes. Oh, that's so cool. That's really cute. That's really... Ow, what the fuck? Temporary points 6. I don't know what that means. Alright. What the fuck? Alright, let's begin recollection. I should choose carefully. I'm an investigative journalist, but when I reached the scene of the crime to conduct interviews, I discovered that the victim was my love. What should I do? What the fuck? Yeah, good idea. Just... steal the police's investigation. We'll steal from the police. I've illustrated a stunningly accurate portrait for a client, but they refuse to pay me for my work as we contracted. What should I do? Steal treasure greater than the value of compensation owed to me from their home. Convince their nemesis to join with me to gain revenge. I'm gonna go with option 1 here, but the other options here are very funny. I stand before an old 2-floor apartment. I knocked on the door to room 102, but nobody answered me. I'm wondering if a friend of mine might have gone missing. Who might have gone missing is at home or not. What should I do? Pick the lock! Be gay, do crimes. I returned to the school building during the night, because I left my homework in my desk at class. But as I was about to unlock the door, I saw a stranger in the classroom. What should I do? Tell her a wonderful joke. Oh, I believe this is just... I don't know if this has any effect. This is more just a grounding exercise, I believe, for her. Tell her a wonderful joke. After I got shit-faced with my friends last night, I woke up with a hangover the next day and found out there was... normal. These are all normal situations. I also really like that all of them have, like, detailed art, which is really cool. I really like the painted style to the backdrops as well, like how they're kind of hazy, like a memory. It's cool. It's really cool. I'm enjoying it so far. What the fuck are these options? What are these choices? Notice that the corpse is still wearing shoes. Take them off for her and place them at the entrance where they belong. Twist and turn of it so they're not touching the corpse anymore and go back to sleep. Or take a selfie. What the fuck? Girls' night! My love is about to commit suicide by jumping from the edge of the roof. What should I do? Oh god, what the fuck? Wait. Okay, I ignore the fact that the text is overlapping. But that's a really creative way of assigning skill points. I really like that, actually. That's really cool. That's clever. I like that. I really like that. That was stat distribution. About properties. Investigation represents the ability to discern contradictions. This includes contradictions in testimonials, contradictions in space-time, contradictions between knowledge and behavior, and contradictions between reality and physical law. Raising this ability allows Ron to discern tiny contradictions, accurately point them out, and pick up on minor clues to reconstruct the truth. Charm represents the ability to discern emotions. This includes empathizing with the emotions of others, manipulating the feelings of others, attracting the love of others, and understanding the feelings of others. Raising this ability allows Ron to take to social interactions like a fish to water. and to manipulate others into willingly sacrificing anything for her. Clarity represents the ability to coordinate mind and body. This includes agility and speed, manual dexterity, sharpened reaction time, skillful lockpicking, and escaping disaster. Raising this ability allows Ron to rapidly react to unexpected situations, unmake man-made obstacles, and achieve the avoidance of obstacles or the seizing of opportunities. Ron nodded. She felt that her personal information had been greatly improved now. Become a bard, Joy. It's your calling. It is! Okay, that's gonna be our first save. I wonder if there are multiple endings. I mean, she is. What is a streamer if not a modern-day bard? Or a court jester? One of the two. Probably a distinction without a difference if I'm being realistic, but you know what? Actually, there is one notable difference. We don't get laid as much. And we don't go outside. Definitely court Yeah! Hydrate, thank you very much. What are court jesters other than domesticated You're... This is the realest fucking comment. Why not both? Good question. Also, hello, Suave. I don't know if I said hello. Also, Jed. Len Jedi. But she was still a bit hesitant. Did she perhaps need to rethink? Oh, and they let you... Aw, that's cool. That's really cool. I like that they also give you the chance to, like, redo it, and... Okay. I am a... I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little apprehensive about stats in a visual novel, just because... What if they lock endings behind your, like, stats? That feels fucked up. Joy, isn't your D&D character a bard? Yes, he is. Elenis! Half-elf bard, stupid-ass bitch. Dumbass motherfucker. 2 goddamn brain cells. Here, I'll show them off. Really? Stats and VNs are my favorite. I don't play many VNs, so I don't actually know that many, what brain cells. There are none. But, here's the art the Scummy did of him. And I like it. He's pretty. He's a silly little goober. Because it makes it so that I truly have to think about my actions and what I can do after each action. I mean, yeah. But that's just also with making a choice, you know? Just because I want a good ending, I don't want people to suffer. So if it's like the good ending is locked behind putting all your stats into like fucking making out with girls, if the good ending isn't locked behind maxing your stats into kissing girls, then I'm fucked. Cause that's my entire game plan. Plus, I don't really do like multiple streams of like different endings, you know? I like to be one and done, so dear God. Just because I do get very invested in the characters. And like, I get attached to fictional characters way too easily. Like, a character will be like, wow, you're cool. And then I'll be like, I'll die for you. I'm decided not to recollect any further. She flipped the notebook to its rear cover. On the inside of the rear cover were a few miniature ring sleeves, holding 3 long strip-shaped bookmarks. Ron pulled out one of those bookmarks and placed it into the first page of the notebook. Now that all oh. I'm drinking water, but my throat's still dry, and it's kind of fucking me up. Bookmark, an item which stores Ron Ibuki's memories in the notebook, allowing the achievement of a certain truly astonishing feat, the details of which have been lost due to Ron Ibuki's memory loss. However, Ron has already expended the original bookmarks. At the moment, only imitation bookmarks are available, which are only capable of creating memory backups. Interesting. I wonder how that'll come up. Your voice sounds unusually soft. I know. It's because I'm trying not to put too much strain on it, because that's part of the reason why I haven't been streaming as much, just because my voice has been... Yeah, being sick really fucks with your voice, so... And as a voice actor, it just... I'm not able to do things I normally can do, like, easily, and it's just... it is incredibly upsetting to me personally. Brew up some tea? I wish. I mean, I might, but I don't want to leave to go prep it during stream, so not yet. Now that all the necessary Now that all the necessary preparations had been made, she closed the notebook and placed it back into her jacket. You got ginger? No. Ron used her phone to illuminate the ceiling. The glowing screen immediately drove away all the darkness, and she soon found that there was a ring-shaped lock keeping the ceiling locked from the inside. Ooh! Some of these sentences are kinda long. She reached out and easily picked the ring lock, and was just about to push open the ceiling when she grew hesitant. Ron realized that she had no idea what was waiting for her out there. Moving recklessly might plunge her into an even more dangerous situation. And keeping the lock to a tiny basement such as this inside the basement itself seemed ridiculous at best. You didn't keep someone confined in a room by locking that room from the inside. She couldn't help but wonder what the mastermind which brought her to this place wanted from her. She pulled her hand back from the handle and turned off the flashlight on her cell phone, leaving only the dim light of the screen itself. Hugging her own legs, she leaned against the wall and stared at the phone's wallpaper. It was a selfie of Ron and a different girl with the exact same school uniform. That girl was her long-lost love, An Sakura, who'd been missing for 4 years. Ron closed her eyes, letting the memories she made with her love wash over her. Even though she couldn't recall many of her memories clearly anymore, she could still remember everything about the two of them as though it had just happened. Remembering the way their shared story had ultimately ended, she raised her head without hesitation. She moved herself back over to the ring lock from before. Then she pushed the ceiling open slightly so that there was just a crack from which she could carefully peer out at the area around. Ice-cold air flowed into the underground chamber. Ron shivered a little and exhaled a cloud of steam. Outside, she saw a lightless hallway where wooden flooring met mottled walls. Mottled? Mottled? What the fuck does mottled mean? I gotta look that up. Mottled. Marked with spots or smears of color. Huh. Gross. Mottled walls. The hallway didn't seem all that wide. It'd been a long time since Ron had seen such an old building as this. Didn't Ron's love jump off a building in the recollection prologue? I don't know if they were real events, is the thing. Also, you pull up the history by scrolling up, which is a weird choice. She had a skull-splitting headache and couldn't help but blink. She needed to find a safe place and restabilize the rising pressure. If at all possible, she didn't want to have to eat any more paper. Ron took a deep breath, scrunched her eyes a few times, and pushed the entire ceiling open. Nah, she's pretty. I believe Renpai, just judging from the settings. I'm not actually certain about that just because of how the settings look in the the options menu, but just yeah, I really like her design. Sprawled on the edge of the exit, she craned her neck and surveyed her surroundings. A wooden hallway appeared before Ron's eyes. Before the right of the hallway, there were clearly a row of standard-sized classrooms. With both hands, Ron pushed herself up from the floorboards, bringing herself back to ground level. She looked towards both ends of the hallway. She didn't detect any traces of anyone skulking on either end. Is my... Sorry, I'm trying to... I don't know. I feel very self-conscious about my voice right now. The lifeless darkness seemed to accentuate the chill of the hallway. Every breath Ron took made her lungs hurt like they were being frozen over. Though the windows remained immobile thanks to the wooden grill holding them in place, Ron could still hear the freezing wind howling outside the door. Ron leaned against the window and stared outside blankly. She couldn't figure out how she was connected to this dilapidated school at all. She'd escaped a small mystery only to find herself in the midst of a larger one. The pressure mounting against Ron was starting to strain her limits, and not even the ice-cold air could stem her sweating. With a trembling hand, she tried to wipe her sweat away. Even though she was missing many of her memories, Ronabuki was somehow certain that she was no stranger to anomalous events like this. But she couldn't remember any of the specifics. All she could remember was that each of those events had been miserable experiences for her, and that each event had also been closely linked to her quest to find Aunt Sakura. Somehow. Alright, I should come up with a way to get out of here so I can keep looking for Miss Sakura. Ronabuki decided to stop wasting time and march forward. Spend temporary points. What does that mean? Oh! Oh! If you don't have the ability, like, if you don't have the skill points for a check, you can use temporary points to make up. Oh, that's sick! That's really cool! I like that, actually. That's really cool. I really like that, actually. I spooked a pizza. How? Why? Why'd you scare it? I was gonna eat that, and now it's cowering in the corner. Cruel. Alright. I do really like that, though. Okay. Investigation 2. Check passed. Some choices require that your attributes reach a certain threshold before you can pick them. Once your relevant attribute reaches the threshold, the check is automatically passed. Whoops. Well, the relevant attribute is insufficient, the number of points you need to have in that attribute will be displayed instead. Okay. If you possess any usable temporary points, the option to use temporary points will appear as well. Temporary points can be spent to raise your attributes temporarily for the duration of this choice only. After your choice has been made, the attribute you raised will return to normal. Also, this game sparked my interest, so I'll play this by myself and then check your VOD. See ya! See ya, Oro! The game is on sale on Steam now for 55% off. Go check it out if you are at all interested. But hello, Boba. How you doing today? Click on people. Click on Ronabuki. You can see the number of temporary points you currently possess. Every 5 times you encounter a choice that requires an attribute check, you gain 1 temporary point. That's really cool. Suddenly, Ron realized something. If this was just a school, why would it have such a bizarre, tiny underground chamber in the first place? Holding that question in her head, she turned back to look at the basement she'd just escaped. Only to find an ordinary floor there, without the slightest hint of a hinge or crack. Getting by a long day, was going to stream The Forgotten City, but decided to get some housework/file organization work done again. Oh yeah, I want to say, because I forgot, hope your voice feels better. Me too. I am trying to drink, like, plenty of water. Because, man, it does feel real weird. Okay. I'm sorry. Only to find an ordinary floor there, without the slightest hinge of a hinge or crack. Do you ever feel really eepy way too early? No, but I do get really eepy way too late. Like, 6 a.m. Terror instantly rose into her heart. She quickly rushed back to the basement's original location, but tripped over her own legs, and in a rush, slammed into the floor. Ron didn't care, though. Going along with the fall, she pressed herself to the floor and tried to pry the floor open with her fingernails, but there were no cracks to be found. No leverage to be had. The wooden floor had become a seamless solid hole, as though it were the door to a vast vault, unbudging and immovable. Ron slammed her fists against the ground. The only response she received was a heavy thump, indicating that the ground underneath was definitely solid rather than hollow. The basement's gone! The basement's gone?! How?! Unrelenting, Ron continued in vain to find a hidden seam in the wooden boards. All of her attempts were met with defeat. Ron stared with wide eyes in the face of this impossibly ordinary floorboard. The last frayed strand of sanity that she maintained began to break down. She began to claw at her head repeatedly, trying to alleviate the stress she was under. The more mysteries and unresolved situations she had to face at once, the greater that stress would grow. She knew! The disappearance of her beloved had been bad enough for her condition. Now, incomprehensible situations were showing up one after the other! At last, the disappearance of the basement had become the straw that broke the camel's back, and Ron's condition swallowed up her thoughts like an avalanche of snow. Sakura, help me! No. My mouth began to twitch, trying to stop the foreign masses from spilling from within. But I had to open my mouth. I had to drive them away. I had to drive them away! Sakura, save me. Why does she not suspect it? Just because you're aware that you have hallucinations doesn't mean you can tell the difference. Also, hello, Sonic. Thank you for the hydrate. Hello, welcome to the Chrono Jotter. It's a weird name. Sorry. Horror mystery visual novel. If we're in an abandoned school, I guess it's more... Imagine Corpse Party, Ace Attorney. Mixed with a little bit of Ghost Trick with the time travel. Which we haven't gotten to yet, but I know it's mentioned there in the Steam description, and the game is called the Chrono Jotter. Chrono is time. You get it. Sakura, save me. The pain in my head and the torment of my stomach spasming as I dry heave, brought to my knees. My cell phone fell from its pocket and struck the ground. Its screen lit up. Sakura. I twisted so that I faced the floor, clawing at my hair and bringing my legs as far in as I could. It was those memories, that blame, that loneliness which tore at me. They birthed phantasms, opened their mouths and spoke, forced me to depart from the paths of well-trodden common sense and drowned my reason into the black magma beside me. Stress, fear, and the unknown energized them, empowered them, made them grow even more rampant until they were on the verge of taking away my everything. But, Miss Sakura, my back bent, fists clenched, the notebook fell out of my jacket and splayed open on the floor, revealing a blank page. In the periphery of my vision, I glimpsed it. That pale, yellow page, softest of bed sheets or the finest of meat delicacies. But more than neither of those, to me, it was most like this tender smoothness of Miss Sakura's skin. Without realizing, my fingers had already reached the page's edge, slowly but steadily, as though a magnetic force was pulling them closer and closer. The moment they touched the page, a familiar sense of safety and an overwhelming impulse of impending redemption washed over me. My fingers tore a small piece from the page, crumpled it into a small ball, and threw it into my mouth, and without even bothering to chew, I swallowed it directly into my throat. What the fuck? After a long silence, Ronabuki finally stood back up, leaning on the wall for support. Should be able to hold on a little longer now. Let's go. So, where to next? In investigation mode, click on the arrows to move forward and leave the current region. Regions can contain multiple clickable areas. Move the mouse to search for areas that can be investigated. Areas which have been fully investigated will be marked as investigated. Clicking on them again will allow you to reread their contents. That's really nice! That's a bunch of really good features, actually. I really like that. Ron took a few steps forward and discovered a ruined stairwell. It looked as though something massive had crushed it and ground it up. Wood chips were scattered all over. She looked up, trying to see if there was something that smashed the stairs lurking on the ceiling just above her. She didn't find anything, though. Ron approached the stairs slowly and bent down to inspect it in detail. The edges of the broken stairs were jagged and uneven. Clearly, only damage from an external force could leave marks such as these. Ron guessed that the purpose of the damages was to prevent people from reaching the second floor. She was curious, though, so she leaned on the edge of the stairs and held onto the guardrail, tiptoeing as close to the damaged parts as she could without falling. She peered up towards the second floor. The broken stairwell led to a small platform, whose left side connected to another set of stairs going up the opposite direction, leading to the second floor. Ron craned her head trying to see what exactly was on the second floor, but the lighting was too dim and she couldn't make anything out. Shuffling her feet upwards, she found that it might be possible to reach the second floor by clinging onto the handrail. Night, everyone. Oh shit, yeah, good night, Kronos. Hope you enjoyed it so far, though. The game seems really interesting. It's setting up a lot of really cool mysteries and, like, concepts. I'm really enjoying it. Night-night. She's soothing. Aww. Who up Jot and make Chrono? Not you, you're going to bed. And the school building looked quite large. There were surely many other places where the second floor could be reached, so if the goal had just been to seal off the second floor completely, destroying this one stairwell was far from sufficient. Hell yeah! Wait, I have just enough for it, right? I don't know my stats exactly. Oh shit! Let's do it! What could possibly go wrong? Runabuki licked her lips as though she was savoring the sweetness of curiosity. She put her hands on the guardrail, turned her body to the side, and shuffled horizontally up the stairs. By the time she'd almost arrived at the second floor, no stairs remained that could support Ron. But she pushed off with one leg and nimbly jumped to the platform at the end of the stairs, successfully reached the second floor of the school building. The layout of the second floor looked more or less identical to that of the first floor. It didn't seem like there was anything hidden here that warranted the destruction of the stairwell. Ron swept the dust off herself and contemplated her next move. If there's a difference here, it's gotta be important. Okay, 2 points into investigation. Got it. Wait. No, just 1. After Ron dusted herself out, she suddenly noticed how dusty the second floor was, and how, compared to the first floor, the walls and floorboards here seemed much older. In some places, the wood had even begun to decay. Straight up jotting it, and by it, well, let's just say, my Chrono. Maybe the people here only really used the first floor and never bothered to maintain the second floor. Ron coughed as she waved away the dust with her hand and turned back to the first floor. Ron couldn't figure out the meaning behind the destroyed stairwell, but she didn't want to be foolhardy and advance into an area where danger might lurk, so she could only go back down. She sighed and clawed at her hair a bit as her stress built up again. She couldn't help but start to suspect there was something else besides her in the schoolhouse. That something had destroyed the stairwell and put her in this place, and even now was watching her from the shadows. Baronsu discarded these stray thoughts, which only served to feed the dread within her heart. She was fully aware that such things were just the instinctive reactions that humans feel within the darkness. Just like how, after waking up from a nightmare, one might imagine that the terrible entities from their dream had descended into the darkness which surrounded them too. Merely the lingering ripples of a pebble cast by fear into the lake of reason. Classroom. Ron looked towards the classroom, but to her side, the moon was. Oh, that's really pretty. I really like this. Oh man, the lighting. It's man, very very pretty. The moon was at the perfect angle to illuminate the room with soft azure light, allowing Ron to notice that the storage drawers and the desks all had textbooks within them. This raised Ron's interest. Observing the classroom from behind a window, she wondered if there were any eclipse worms in the room. What the fuck does that? Thank God. Ever since that time, she'd been cocooned by the eclipse worms. Ron had taken a particular case to avoid those things whenever she could. What the fuck are you talking about? By providing her own blood to the note. What the fuck? That's really sick, by the way. By providing her own blood to the notebook, Ron can travel through these recall points to project her consciousness back to those points in time and make different decisions within the points constraints, to thus gain knowledge about different possible. Wait. So, you're just gaining knowledge of the different outcomes. So you don't affect the future, but you can understand it. I don't know if that's for sure how it works, but that's really interesting, actually. Anyways, what the fuck is an eclipsed silkworm? Creatures which devour light. All light which shines upon these creatures is consumed, preventing direct observation. Infrared observation reveals anthropod-like animals similar to silkworms in morphology. After reaching maturity, they form cocoons which continuously leak black liquid. In actuality, this black liquid is a substance which also consumes light. Ranabuki was once enveloped in a cocoon for 7 days. During this period of time, the eclipsed silkworm used its mandibles to continuously feed an unknown nutrient to her, the exact nature of which has been lost due to Ranabuki's memory loss. After 7 days, the cocoon spontaneously disappeared. Immediately afterwards, the area around Ron suffered a total eclipse of the sun, lasting 24 hours. As for Ron herself, aside from losing her sight for 7 days, no other irregularities were found in her physical condition. What the fuck? That's horrifying. She had no desire to repeat the weeks she'd spent as their captive. Once Ron carefully confirmed that there were no mysterious writhing shapes in the darkness, she decided to investigate the classroom. What she most wanted to know right now was whether she was alone in this place or not. Reached out and easily pulled it open. It's not locked? Pretty! Ron entered the classroom and found herself enveloped in the fragrance of the room's wooden fucking timbers. She inhaled deeply, enjoying the smell before she cast her gaze around and began to investigate. Yeah, I want to check out the textbooks. And bent down to see that there were several textbooks in Chinese stacked in the desk's drawer. Chinese? With how Japanese this place looked, I'd figured... Ron took out one of the literature textbooks with some interest. After flipping through a few pages, though, the contents of the books left her with a slight sense of incongruity. It looks like a second-year high school textbook. It's nice to see some textbooks in my native language, but why are these textbooks primarily focused on the works of Japanese authors? Ron took a look at the spine of the book. In the space where the author's published name was supposed to go was the name of a Japanese publisher, the same one who'd published the textbooks Ron had used in high school herself, in fact. But besides the text being changed from Japanese to Chinese, the contents themselves were quite different as well. Strange. Something's not right. Ron flipped through the books, noticing that many of the books had been annotated by the students themselves. And in Chinese as well. Why would they deliberately choose to use translated text like this? Just, what are the students here even... Ron flipped back to the first page, wanting to know the name of the owner of the textbook. She found that the space on the first page where the owner was supposed to have written down their name had been left blank. She put the book back in the drawer and circled the classroom a few times, confirming that there were only textbooks in 7 of the desk drawers. They took notes, but didn't write their names down. This implies that... Nope. I got no idea what it implies, actually. At least I know that there's probably 7 students in this classroom. Okay. Let's see what else there is to investigate. The window. Ron took a step closer to the window. Beyond it was nothing but darkness. She could only barely see the waving silhouette of a tree under the moonlight. It's too dark. I can't see outside clearly. Let's check somewhere else. Oh. Well... Ron approached the blank blackboard and poked the chalk with a finger. Her finger was immediately covered in a thick layer of chalk dust. So someone's wiped the blackboard here. Recently, then. The fine sand-like texture of the chalk dust conjured an auditory synesthesia. That's how you... Synesthesia. That's the word. There we go. I'm awesome. In Ron, she turned her head to the window and listened to the sounds of the waves. She and Ansaka lived by the sea for too long. Ron You're doing great. Thank you. Which is impressive considering my fucking throat right now. Ugh. Feels like speaking through a fucking cheese grater. Sandpaper. I hope my voice doesn't sound too rough. Also, I can speak up. I don't know why I've been speaking so soft this whole time. Ron rubbed her fingers, letting the chalk dust fall back to the blackboard tray and cutting off the sound of the waves. Then she noticed a class schedule taped to the blackboard and bent down to investigate in detail. Language, mathematics, physics, and chemistry. Only 4 subjects. And they only have classes in the morning. The afternoon time slots all just say free time. Free time. The coursework looks easy, but what does free time mean exactly? Club activities? Whatever. No point thinking about it right now. Let's keep investigating. Is there anything else I can investigate? No, there isn't. We're moving on to the next area. Leaning against the window on the left side of the hallway, Ron looked outwards to assess the structure of the schoolhouse. She could see that the hallway terminated at a large gate ahead. The gate faced her directly, in fact. She considered the shape of the schoolhouse and decided that so long as the architect had any common sense whatsoever, this hallway would definitely turn left eventually so that it could connect to the front gate. Ron sniffed a bit, letting the cold air of the hallway pour into her lungs once again. This time it didn't hurt. She merely shivered a little instead, her nerves sharpened by the chill. She now felt like she was in excellent condition. Her heartbeat had stabilized and her mind was agile. Eating a page always brought Ron back to an elevated state like this, like a post-workout athlete who just drank a refreshingly cold beverage. Now that both body and mind were in top condition again, it was time to deal with the situation at hand. She looked all around and noticed that the design of the schoolhouse seemed rather antiquated. Diagonal wood struts supported the ceiling, and the windows were fixed in place by wooden latch bars, which prevented them from being opened. The walls were yellowed with age and coated with cracks. Clearly, the schoolhouse had been built a long time ago. As Ron walked, she gently ran her hand along the wall on the side of the classroom, feeling the texture of the surface. The rough sensation from her fingernails reminded her of the first time she touched the notebook. She'd given great attention to the grainy texture of the page. For some reason, doing so had given her heartbeat's pace a healthy increase, as though she'd been caressing her lovel's supple waist. Ron shook her head and redirected her attention to the present. Not far down, she saw that the hallway took a left turn. Scattered moonlight shone down from the left there. It felt very unrealistic for her, like it was an artificially glowing indicator right out of a video game, placed to mark the objective. But she picked up the pace and ran towards the bend in the hallway anyways. When Ron finally arrived at the gate to the schoolhouse, she found 5 racks of shoeboxes, typical for a school, most of them thoroughly empty. Remembering that the textbooks she'd looked through in the classroom hadn't any names written on them, Ron decided to investigate the shoe cabinets here as well. She was confident that the shoe cabinets here would have nameplates. The students would have had a hard time finding their own shoes otherwise. It gave her the opportunity to determine just how many students the school had. Ron wove between the shoe cabinets and found that only the 3rd row of one of the cabinets held any shoes. Exactly 7 pairs. But the plaques on the shoe cabinets didn't have any real names on them, just numbers. Arabic numerals from 1 to 7. Yo, Red, hi! Welcome to the stream. We are currently doing a voice acting. We're playing the Chrono Jotter, horror mystery visual novel. It's been very, very good so far. I'm really enjoying it. Hope you're having a lovely day today. How's your day been? Ron wondered if she could stay here longer to investigate these shoes, or if she could just leave through the main gate as soon as she could. She quickly came to a conclusion. Her top priority was getting out of here, not solving the mystery at the school or whatever. Ron approached the main entrance and pressed down on the door handle. The door opened compliantly. No lock expected to prevent Ron from advancing. It's alright. Hey, alright is better than bad. I'll take it. How's your day been? Good. It's been a while since my last stream, so I'm really happy that everyone's been showing up. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me, you know? Main entrance is not locked either. Ron pushed the front gate open. The cold wind blowing up from outside the room made it hard for her to open her eyes. It was already November, and Ron, who was only wearing a winter uniform, was so cold that she had already started hugging herself to stay warm. She advanced slowly, hugging her own shoulders. The sound of the wind mixed with the rustling of the weeds seemed to accentuate the courtyard's darkness. Even though she'd activated the flashlight mode on her phone, she still couldn't see the path clearly. Looking around, Ron was barely able to make out the silhouettes of the buildings. Accompanied by the howling wind and swaying growth, she felt like the buildings themselves were beginning to writhe as well. Ron pressed on. The sound of the wind grew louder and louder until she could no longer hear her own footsteps. The cold, the darkness, and the slowly accumulating stress that had made her quite frustrated. But she had made it outside, and now all she needed to do to escape was find the school gates. At least I've gotten outside. Where should I go from here? A recall point. We got a few different options here. I feel like if we just go right to the school gate, the game's over. But Ron saw ahead of her an open clearing with good visibility, unobstructed by any buildings. She stared at it and realized that she could see a short wall. Clearly the school gates were over there. The frustration in Ron's heart cleared instantly. Picking up the pace, she ran towards the goal. But upon reaching the gates, Ron was forced to stop. Beneath her feet, an old dirt road stretched out horizontally. Well ahead laid an endless expanse of shrubbery, trees, and muddy wetlands. Ron didn't dare venture into a dark swamp like that. By the light of her phone, she saw that the road under her feet led into a silent darkness in both directions. She pulled at her hair for a few minutes before turning back to the school. Let's wait for morning before I head out. Okay. Not a bad plan. There's gotta be more in the schoolhouse, though. Okay. And I just saw investigate, like, the investigated tag wasn't there yet, so I wanted to check it out, but... Campus depth. Gymnasium. Who knows, maybe there's someone there. Ron approached the massive arc-shaped silhouette in the darkness, guessing that it was probably the gymnasium. If she got lucky, perhaps she'd be able to find the room where they stored the gym equipment and spend the night on a soft workout mat. Thinking of this, Ron shielded her eyes from the howling cold wind with a hand and jogged over to the main entrance of the gymnasium. These doors weren't locked either. Ron pressed her hands to the doors and forcefully pushed them open. The resultant creaks echoed in the empty gymnasium. Ron felt like the sounds were cutting into her very eardrums. Ron walked into the gym. It was terribly dark. She groped her way around the walls, but couldn't find a light switch. As Ron raised her head and looked towards the distant, unreachable ceiling, a wordless fear grew in her heart. That, plus the foreboding atmosphere of the unoccupied gymnasium and the chill that seemed to steep into her body here, left Ron shivering. She decided that, in a moment of comparison, even the cold wind outside possessed more vitality, and so she retraced her steps, closed the gym door, and returned to the courtyard, rubbing her shoulders and looking for somewhere better to go. Yeah, not a friendly place. Atrium? What is campus this large has to have a dormitory, right? Let's try to get in, find an empty room, and lay low for the night. Worst comes to worst, I could just head back to the school building or bounce the curtains to use as blankets. Ron looked all around, remembering that she'd seen a lone house somewhere in the darkness not long ago. Usually in an isolated building far away from the main campus like that would be either a lab building or a dormitory. Ron was hoping it was the latter. With high expectations, she advanced towards it. Suddenly, though, a flickering light appeared from a completely different direction. Ron halted her steps and stared at the slowly brightening light. That light's coming from a house, isn't it? Someone's turned their lights on. Is it a student? The light's appearance was so timely that Ron couldn't help but wonder whether or not the light was actually the shining lure of some kind of anglerfish. Ron wanted to know if there was anyone else here. Even if her risked a conflict, she felt an encounter with another person would at least help her shine some light on her situation. As long as she was sufficiently careful, she'd be fine. After all, this wasn't even close to her most dangerous situation she'd ever been in. And now was no time for cowardice. Ron touched her notebook again, giving herself a quiet word of encouragement, and then ran towards the light. The place that Ron had arrived at in her pursuit of the light had indeed met her expectations. It definitely looked like the kind of place where accommodation could be found. Also, one thing I do want to say for the people who are just joining the stream, this game is sick as hell. For one, the character actually keeps notes, which are really cool. I will say the game isn't perfect, as you can tell by the notes crossing through the pages. Is there a village in these lands? The stars and moon are visible. It's just very neat. I like it. You got, like, character information. She's just a bit stupid. Me? I'm not. She's not. Both of you? Oh. Down. Place that Ron had arrived at in pursuit of the light. Most incredibly of all, it was a Western-style building. It was an unwise decision to simply barge into the building without any intel, but the frigid winds didn't leave Ron hesitant for too long. She quietly pushed open the door and headed directly into the dormitory building without taking off her shoes. Ron could feel her cheeks and ears frantically twitching in nervousness. Her eyes darted unnaturally all over, for fear of missing the slightest movement. Carefully, she shuffled her feet until she came to a fork in the hallway. Towards the left were stairs that led to a second floor, and on the right was... As soon as Ron looked to the right, she froze immediately, and quickly ducked behind the corner of the wall. She'd heard the sounds of footsteps and pouring water from the right side. Poking her head out slightly, she looked towards it. On the right was an open kitchen. Inside it, a female student stood, facing away from Ron. She was quite tall, and she held a bottle of fruit tea in her hands which she was pouring into a cup. Ron observed the female student carefully. Looks like she's not armed. Hard to tell how fit she is due to the uniform, but most likely just an ordinary civilian. Also, give me like 2 seconds. I gotta refill my water, because I've been drinking so much throughout this stream so far. So just, like, a real quick... I'll run, like, 1 minute of ads so that way ads don't autoplay for a minute. Why can't I... No. Can't. Can't run an ad, so I guess we're just... The one time I want to run an ad because I'm going to be doing something, of course. God fucking damn it. Alright, I'll be like right back. Give me 2 seconds to refill my water because my throat is chalk. Oh my god. I just come back, I see this fucking wave of redeems. What the fuck? Jesus. Everyone was exploding me. What the fuck? I don't know what that looked like to anyone else, but thank you for clipping that. What the fuck, man? We might need a cooldown on it. Yeah, maybe. Okay, no cooldown, but I make it more expensive. That way, like, if you want to spam it, because it is kind of funny to spam it. But that way people spam it less, because there's more of a cost to it. But also, I trust you guys not to be spamming it while I'm doing, like, a scene. So you know what? Nah. I'm doing it, but I'm trusting you guys with this. This is a privilege, not a right. And I will reserve it. And I reserve the right to just, add a cooldown. If you guys take it too far, okay? You guys can have your fun, but just, you know, be respectful. If you do spam, I will kill. No, if it's just like fucking around, and it's like funny. But just, yeah, respect the stream. Hair seems a bit wet. Probably just finished showering. She seems to be close to my age. Could consider initiating contact, but from her perspective, what would she make of me? A thief? A home invader? Or an escaped convict? Why would she expect this? Ron turned around and leaned against the wall. Whether or not the students were the ones who locked me in the building, locked me in the basement, either way, I'm definitely not supposed to be here right now. Even if I'm just a victim, the students' natural reaction to a stranger showing up in their dormitory would be alarm and hostility. Not to mention the very real possibility that it was the students who locked me up in the first place. I should reconsider and find a controlled approach that maxes my chance of... Oi! The female student suddenly appeared at the I like her already! She's also, the art is so fucking pretty! Look at this! Look at her! Ah! Adorable. She's so pretty. Oh, I can right click to hide the little text menu. That's cool. Okay, apparently I can go Alt-Enter to make it go full screen. It went full screen on the wrong fucking monitor. So I guess not. I think I have COVID. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's an appropriate reaction. I pull... The female student suddenly appeared at the intersection, startling Ron into letting out a scared gasp as their eyes met. As Ron had predicted, she didn't look pleased at all. Looking at her ear piercings and the fangs that occasionally peeked out from her mouth as she spoke, for some reason, Ron found herself reminded of the feral cats that... Oh my god. Cactus... This is the perfect character for you. I'm sorry. Got fangs and everything, and cat core. Yeah. Cactus is just having a stroke. She was taller. And she's tall! Oh my god. Oh, that actually really hurt. Okay, no yelling, I guess, for me. Ow! That, like... Oh! She was taller than Ron, though, and she cast a shadow on Ron's face just by standing over her. Do you have any medicine to help with your throat? No. It's just being weird. Blech. Which is a shame, because I'm really enjoying this game so far. Like, I'm very much endeared to it. And she... Just by standing over her, it made Ron feel diminished and stressed. A few stray memories of Ron's miserable existence at school flashed to her mind unbidden. She quickly blinked them away and focused on the reality before her. Who are you? What are you doing here? Who are you? What are you doing here? Looks like she doesn't know about my situation. Notice her serpentine bracelet. Your bracelet's an Ouroboros, isn't it? What does it mean? I'm asking you who you are. Stop wasting my time. She's so fierce. My name's Ron Ibuki. First name Ron, last name Ibuki. But we're all speaking Chinese here, so you can call me, fuck. Okay. I don't know how to pronounce Chinese names. I don't have much experience with this. Lin... I know, it's Shinlan? Lin Shinlan? I just know that Xin is usually pronounced Shin. But not proficient in Chinese, unfortunately. We're all speaking Chinese here, so you can call me Lin Shinlan. Please excuse me struggling over the names. I'm sorry, I'm doing my best to get them right. Not much. What you do? Oh my god. You know what? Real as fuck, honestly. The hell are you talking about? The female student scrunched up her brow and stared at Ron. How could I possibly be speaking Chinese? You're speaking Japanese right now, aren't you? Interesting. Scrunching my brows. Skomi, hi! Look at the pretty lady! It's lovely to see you. How you doing today? There was no question that the sound Ron perceived, both from her and the female students' mouths, were both the most utterly ordinary Chinese. What's going on? I'm clearly speaking Chinese, and she's also... Let's try testing this. I'm not doing that. This is actual Japanese, isn't it? As soon as Ron spoke those words, she clasped her hands to her mouth. She'd spoken those words with Japanese grammar and pronunciation, and she was certain that she'd felt her mouth form the correct shapes for such. But what she heard was completely unremarkable Chinese coming out of her mouth. It was like there was a parasite living in her mouth, controlling her mouth for her. And strange, she had intriguing pink gerbil. Fuck you. The orders given by her brain and the movements of her muscles were in alignment, yet the results had turned out completely differently from her expectations. Natsu as well! Hello! It's lovely to see everyone! I'm not a gerbil, I'm Banui. No, I'm Benui. No, I'm Joy Kirbs. She never experienced such an incongruity before, and it left her terrified. Wait a second. Up to now, I've only seen written text has only been in Chinese or Arabic numerals, and that book was obviously a Japanese textbook, but translated into Chinese for some bizarre reason. Ron held a head. Ron held a... Ron... I don't know how to pronounce the name. I believe it's Japanese. But... I'm gonna keep saying Ron, but if I'm getting this wrong, please do correct me. Ron held a hand to her forehead, her expression anxious. If you're getting it wrong. I know it's not... English is a weird... Oh, that's not English, actually. Transliterating other languages can be weird, because... No, it's written in English, okay. Nobody's attacking you. Yeah, I know. Hey, I can call you Ibuki, right? I like the voice I'm doing for her. I like that voice. I am physically... no you're not. Where's the explosion? Or the bricks? Ah! Ow. Fuck! Ow! I'm dying. Ah! Ah! Wait. Could you trigger both at the same time? I need to... I'm pulling up my thing. Okay. Sorry, I wanted to test it. English is a Germanic language that took some major influences from Norman, French, Latin, and a billion other languages, and that's what looked like when we were spamming it. Yeah. We need more streams that let you beat the streamer within an inch of their life. It's an underrated genre. I think, what was it? Germa's Dollhouse is the closest we've ever really gotten to that, you know? I'm sure there can be some innovations in physically assaulting streamer technology. That was such a good... That was honestly one of the best streams of all time, I'm gonna be real. Like, just out... Like, as, like... In terms of, like, what Twitch can do, it's still so impressive to me. I love it so much. Why'd you get quiet all of a sudden? Nothing, just... Yeah, call me Ibuki. You? The girl seemed rather confused about Ron's rapid shift in demeanor, but soon loosened her brows and spoke. Stream where the streamer isn't one of those water dunk things you see in a fair or carnival? I feel like that'd be a bad idea considering most of them have electronic equipment on them at all times. Just a terrible idea all around. My name is Sai Yorono. I'm a student here. Most of them can't swim. I mean... Yeah. Waterproof keyboard, wireless headphones. But it's full of mineral oil. It's full of today's sponsor, G Fuel, and it just melts you. It's like a vat of acid, but worse, because you're dying in gamer flavored, gamer themed, like not gamer Oh, gross! That's a vile. No. I wanna unword that. Guilty Gear G Fuel. Gamer flavored I don't like the gamer flavored liquid. God fucking damn it. I'm gonna burn my house down. Stream's over. I'm packing it up. You're all done for. Last stream ever. I'm retiring. I'm a student here. Aw, pretty little doodle. I love it. After meeting a new character, relevant information about that character will be recorded in the notebook. Click notebook. Click on people. Sayonara. Click on sketch. Very handsome fit. Oh my god. Wait. Does she actually say handsome face? God, she's so... Gay ass. Gay ass. She's just... Yeah, honestly, me too. Don't get me wrong. I get it. Should I be VOD Squad or can I join in the middle? You can absolutely join in the middle. We've mostly been exploring and stuff. We did just get introduced to a cool new character, but aside from that, not really too much. It's all been mostly introduction. We did meet Sai Yorino, who is very cute. And, pretty. And, our main character is gay, as hell. She's got a little fang. She does have little fangs. Sai had apparently relaxed her guard and returned to the rhythm of her ordinary life, which surprised Ron quite a bit. Her reaction to the sudden appearance of a stranger in her dormitory had been quite underwhelming. Suddenly, Ron started to worry about whether Sai had already grown used to this sort of thing. Had there been many past cases where someone had intruded into the school on accident? And run into Sai at the dorms? And then was never seen again? Well, if that was the trope at hand, then the next plot beat would probably involve Ron running into a bunch of people in the same situation, until finally, when dawn broke, only Ron and the final girl were able to escape. She couldn't help but laugh at the third-rate horror movie plot that appeared in her mind. Hydrate, thank you very much. Well, it's pretty late. You should get to bed. I'll introduce you to everyone else tomorrow morning. You can sleep in my room. Blushes? Your room? That's a bit sudden, isn't it? Well, everyone else already has a roommate. My room's the last one left with a vacancy, that's why. Oh my god, can I... please... Ron nodded, even though that wasn't really what Ron was asking. I see. You're fine with that, though? Ron took a quick look over at the layout of the... over the layout of the area while she talked. There was a dining table in the open kitchen. Also, the game has very... Please, dear God, down, girl. No, no. Ow! What? I didn't do anything! Skomi! Cruel and unusual punishment. I've done nothing wrong in my life. Also, the art in this game is very pretty. I like the environments a lot. It's got like a sort of painted feel to it, and I enjoy it. Especially, you can kind of... I don't know. I like it. None, because they never caught me. Ron took the opportunity to memorize the layout of the area. It was clearly a spacious building. If each room had multiple people in it, and inside Yodono's room was the only one with an empty bed, that implied the number of students here must be greater than 7. I'm a stranger to you too, aren't I? I'm a stranger to you, aren't I? I thought you'd be more cautious around me. Me? Why should I trust a stranger like her? In response, I gulped down the last of her fruit tea before stepping into the kitchen and saying, "Eh, you're the same age as me, and you don't seem like a bad sort." She turned on the faucet and began to wash her newly emptied cup. The water made a pleasant splashing sound as it passed over the sides of the cup and flowed into the sink. Before long, Sai turned the faucet off and started wiping her hands. "Unless you're telling me you really are here to cause trouble." Of course not. I'm a decent person. The way that Ron spoke with resolve made Sai laugh. Oh, there you go then. Come with me. I love her. Don't forget to take your shoes off. I'm enjoying this a lot, actually. You can just dip. I don't wanna. Joy, way ahead of you, ma'am. Music is so relaxing. Oh yeah, no, this game's been really good so far. I don't know if you were around for some of the other mechanics, but basically, you can use, you can use temporary points to, like, boost skill attributes for certain checks, which is super fun. You do get, like, a base set of stats, and, from there, yeah. It's a limited resource, so you can't, like, you can't see everything, and it's just cool. It's a very cool system. So you can decide what checks you want to spend your temporary points on. You get 5 for every check, so there's not really a very high likelihood of you getting through most of them. But I'm very interested. The game seems very cool so far. I, meanwhile, climbed halfway up the stairs, took a leaning position against the guardrail, and calmly waited for Ron to finish doing her thing. Ron counted the number of shoes. There were 7 pairs of shoes. Most of them were various kinds of student-appropriate shoes, but a pair of short boots stood alone at the very bottom of the cabinet. So there really are only 7. Oi! Are you still not done? Sai's yell started. Oi! Still not done? There we go. Sai's yell startled Ron a little, and she reflectively scrunched up her shoulders as she answered Sai. Sorry, I'll be right there! Ron ultimately closed the cabinet without putting her own shoes in. Rather, she left them at the main entrance, toes pointing outwards, and followed Sai upstairs to the 2nd floor. The 2nd floor hallway wasn't long. On the left was a balcony from which you could see the bottom floor. On the right, you could quickly walk to the end of the hall. At the end were 4 doors, none of which were marked by nameplates. Exactly the right amount of rooms for 7 people, if Yorno was telling the truth about having a room to herself. As far as the layout of the first and second floors went, the building felt less like a student dormitory and more like an ordinary civilian residence. I pulled open the outermost door and gestured for Ron to head in first. Ron nodded and immediately began inspecting everything without so much as asking permission, while Sai got to work spreading a bedsheet out on the lower bunk. The amenities in the dorm room were rather simple. Besides the rather simplistic posters on the wall, there were only standardized furniture and little in the way of additional decoration. Ron wondered if that was because of the school's rules or if it was just due to Sai's own personality. After that, she took a few more laps around the room before settling by the windows. The endless darkness outside the windows melded seamlessly into the night sky, as though a vast curtain unveiled the whole dormitory. Alright, that's enough rummaging around for you. Time to get in that lower bunk and sleep. Oh, okay. Thanks. After that, I didn't say much. She climbed to the top bunk and used a switch near the head of the bed to turn off the lights. Seeing the situation, Ron took her phone out and used it to light the path to her bed. She took off her socks and outerwear and laid down in the bed. Its warmth warded away the cold, finally letting her relax fully. The situation had developed quite well, much better than Ron had been imagining. She quietly looked forward to being able to leave this place tomorrow with the help of the other students, and set off once again on her journey to find Aunt Sakura. Ron pulled up her blankets and tucked in. Winter blankets are so cozy, and I don't know why, but talking the urinal is relaxing for some reason. Thanks to her, my situation's improved a lot. I should really thank her again. Urinal, Shut it. Sleep. Okay. I love her. Ron opened her eyes, tossing and turning on the bed. The unfamiliar environment and ceaseless mysteries continued to torment her mind. Even though the pain which emanated from both her brows and brain reminded Ron that she reached truly dangerous levels of fatigue, she still couldn't get to bed. Now, Kith. I agree. They should kiss. Ron rolled over and turned her phone on, hoping to find some comfort in her photos of Aunt Sakura. Now I feel even worse. Ron closed her eyes, and against her will, the memories of the time she spent together with An began forcibly replaying themselves before her eyes. Ron and An. Ran and Ann. I like Ron and An. Ron and An. Ron and An. The beautiful past made the painful present even more unbearable. Ron clenched her brows tightly, but it did nothing to stop this venom, sweet like honey, from spreading all over her. Hugging her shoulders, she trembled. Miss Sakura, where are you? Fatigue and drowsiness finally overcame nostalgic memory, and Ron gradually fell asleep with dream-born tears flowing from her eyes. She's surely dreaming about Aunt Sakura. You always hide here alone. What happened? Miss Sakura, I've always been alone. Until you found me. Let me wipe your tears. Tell me what happened. I'm sorry, Miss Sakura. I can only cry. I can't even speak clearly. I am scared of pain, scared of being bullied. Don't worry. From now on, I'll be with you. I know, Miss Sakura. But I still want to be the most important person to you. I'm glad you can say that. Really happy. I am too, Miss Sakura. Even if the venom that cannot be avoided is spread all over my body, we'll never be separated. Wait, your hands are clumsy. You hurt me. Miss Sakura's expression is different from usual. It must be something that only I can see. Now you and I have a special relationship, right? From now on, we will never be apart. Of course, Miss Sakura. Miss Sakura, where are you? Without you, I can't do... Where are you? Come. Where are you? Sakura, where are you? Are you okay? Okay, it's just repeating. Imagine that, but like overlapping it with itself. I can't do that as my. Oi, time to get up. After being called awake, Ron opened her eyes forcefully. Turning her head in a stupor, she stared at Sai Yodono, who had already put her uniform on. Then she looked at the overhead bedboard. Only now were her memories of the previous night starting to reawaken. Ron sat up on her bed. Oh lordy, this is happening. Hell yeah. Ron sat on bed, her back bent and her mind still slightly muddled, trying to retain the voice of her love from the dream just a little longer. But soon, it all dissipated. And all that was left before Ron's eyes were a stranger and a stranger's room. She looked towards her own jacket, remembering the corner she'd torn from the notebook yesterday. And she shook her head. It wasn't yet time. After all. After Ron had disappeared, she'd already been forced to eat 18 whole pages out of the notebook to stifle the increasingly serious conditions of her condition. Are you okay? Ron shook her head and stared with side eyes at the changes in Sai's head that she couldn't ignore. God, she's pretty. You looking at something? Nothing. I just, cool hairstyle. Somehow I got the impression you're not exactly complimenting me. Whatever, just get up already. Ron took a long, lazy stretch. She noticed that Sai was holding a small baggie of something. She shook it a few times, and Ron's eyes tracked it as it swung back and forth like a pendulum. You can stop staring now. That's the bag for my swimsuit. I'm planning on getting a swim before the morning meetup. Swimming? There's a swimming pool here? No shit. What, you think I'm gonna go backstroke across the courtyard? Now hurry and get up and come to the washstand with me. The person that's on duty for today should have already gotten up, so I'll have her keep an eye on you in my place from now on. Sure. I noticed it last night when I entered Yorno's room as well. Despite how well furnished this place is, it doesn't have any private bathrooms. I guess that means even the sinks where you brush your teeth are communal. Ron rolled out of bed, put on her socks, picked up her jacket, and headed out for the room with Sai. Yawning, she put her jacket on as she walked. After she was done adjusting its collar, she got her phone out. The screen showed that it was currently 6 exactly. Quite early. She followed Sai, descending to the first floor and turning into a hallway next to the stairs. Soon, Ron could hear the sounds of flowing water not too far away. Oh, Indo, you're on duty today, right? The person Sai had addressed as Indo turned with her hands crossed before her and made a light bow to Sai.
Good morning, Yorno-san.
Yeah, perfect timing then. I'm handing it over to you. Ibuki, come over here.
Okay, boss. Okay, boss. Okay, boss.
Ron quickly followed behind Sai and stepped to her side, preparing to greet Indo. But the moment she saw Indo, she paused. And then the other, and the one who had been called Indo, reacted much more noticeably. She stared back and forth between Sai and Ron, apparently struck speechless, only capable of making sounds of surprise. What's with you?
Why is there a stranger? Yorno-san, who is she?
Calm down, Indo. Deep breath. Indo nodded forcefully and then started taking deep breaths as Sai suggested. Indo apparently took the idea of deep breaths extremely seriously, practically flinging her head all the way back behind her back with every breath. Indo, huh? Like the character for Puppy. It does suit her. She's pretty adorable. Why is she wearing a hakama, though? Hakamas aren't usually supposed to have flowery decorations like that, are they? Looking closely, the overall design seems a bit similar to Yodono's sailor-style outfit.
Okay, okay. And calm now. Calm.
Sai Yonono smiled and gave the hairbun on the back of Indo's head a light tussling up. Great, then I'm leaving the rest of you. Why don't you show Ibuki to the classroom, eh? Oh yeah, and by the way, last night I came back after swimming, I noticed that the showers weren't getting any water. Make sure you let, Asakuto know about that when you get to class so that she can come fix it in the afternoon. So last night when Yorino's hair was wet, that was because she'd just gotten back from showering at the swimming pool. Though, wouldn't that hairstyle cause much trouble for her while she was swimming? Curious.
Okay, Yorino-san. I'll remember to pass it on.
Sai nodded before turning to Ron and speaking. Good. So Ibuki, just stick with Indo and you'll be fine. Don't bully her or I'll beat you up. Where did you get that idea of me from? Sai laughed and then headed to the washstand to start brushing her teeth.
Good morning. Good morning. You're Ibuki-san, correct?
That's right. My name is, Ron Ibuki. Indo speaking Chinese too, but if I ask her about it, I'm sure she'll have the same reaction that Yorino did last night. And now there's the question of why Indo's wearing a hakama too. Maybe she's some kind of exception to the school rules.
I'm Tama Indo. Nice to meet you, Ibuki-san.
Aww. Very cute. I love the little notebook doodles. They're very cute. After Yorino told Indo to calm down, it was like a switch had been flipped. Her attitude done a complete 180. Just like when Yorino first met me last night. What? Curious.
Here's some spare toothbrushes and cups. You can use these, Ibuki-san.
As Thomas spoke, she raised herself to her toe tips. Aww, that's cute. After a moment's hesitation, she took out a fresh toothbrush still sealed in its packaging and presented it to Ron with both hands. Then she turned around again and dug up a cup, which she washed several times under the faucet. Then, with her right hand holding the handle and her left hand supporting the base of the cup, she delivered it to Ron. So formal. By now, Sai had finished cleaning up. She gave Ron a pat on her shoulder and waved farewell to Tama before she departed for the dormitory's depths. The direction she was headed in was the opposite of that of the main entrance. Ron rinsed her mouth as she watched Sai depart. Then she spat out the foam, cleaned off the cup, and put it back in the washstand. But Tama didn't seem satisfied. She took Ibuki's cup and gave it a second washing before replacing it back in the mirror. Well, now I just feel a bit embarrassed.
Now, if you'll allow me to escort you to your classroom, Ibuki-sama. Oh, I mean, Ibuki-san. What did she just call me?
With a light smile on her face, Tama bowed slightly before placing her hands in front of herself and quickly stepping in front of Ron. Ron followed her to the entrance. Tama bent down and opened the bottommost shelf of the shoe cabinet. She took out a pair of short boots and... Oh my god! She's the short boots girl! I thought for sure that would be Sai. Okay, that's cute. Ron's shoes had since molded themselves to her feet, so it didn't take more than a few seconds for her to slip them on. So I'm just imagining it's one of those, like, laced-up sneakers, but she just slides her shoes in because she doesn't want to go through the effort of, like, untying it and then retying it every time. Not speaking from experience, I promise. I'm real... Shut up. Tama meticulously tied her shoelaces in exactly the proper configuration and made a few slight turns after she stood up, as if to confirm that she'd put the shoes on correctly. After that was done, she tapped the ground with her shoe tips and made a slight bow towards the interior of the dormitory before she finally spoke to Ron.
Thank you for your patience, Ibuki-san. Let us depart.
I do want to know what her notes are on the portrait. Besides Miss Sakura's childhood pictures, I have never seen such an adorable little girl. Hairbone's adorable. She's so tiny, and it's also adorable. Lantern Hakama? Wearing hand bracelets. They're woven? Shintoism? Shrine Maiden. Bootsy's ultra adorable! Okay, I love Ron so far. She's adorable. She's so cute. Ultra adorable. Any new notes on, While submerged, she feels that she can almost hear her younger sister's voice. What? I don't... Okay. Also, I really like the music. It's just very chill. Ron nodded in agreement, and the two left the dormitory together, heading towards the schoolhouse that Ron had just escaped the previous night. Are we not gonna bring up the, are you not gonna, be like, hey, I need to leave? During the day, the courtyard looked quite plain and unassuming. Much different from how ominous it seemed last night. Ron walked quite slowly, following behind Tama, observing the distant mountain ranges, the coarse soil under her feet, and the old wooden buildings around her. Suddenly, a thread of nostalgia rose in her, and she found herself thinking of the time she and An had visited Alan's grandmother in the countryside. An Sakura's grandmother had a strange disposition, and kept calling Ron a little raccoon for some reason. She was exceedingly gentle and kind with her granddaughter, though. She would often wheel a little handcart by to bring them chilled watermelon, while Ron and An went fishing next to the river. Oh, she always wound up eating Ron's portion herself somehow. I didn't really like being called a little raccoon, but Miss Sakura said that raccoons were adorable, so I had no choice but to let her grandmother keep calling me that. Wait, what am I even doing? When Ron had followed Tama all the way to the vicinity of the schoolhouse, she halted and called out to Tama. Hold on, Indo! Almost let myself get caught up in the atmosphere here. I'm not here to attend school. Indo, I only stumbled into the school because I got lost. But I'd like to get out of here before one of your teachers catches me here. Could you tell me which way it is to the station from the gates? After hearing Ron out, Tama shook her head and opened her mouth to speak. I'm sorry, Ibuki-san. Ibuki-san. There are only seven students here, and no teachers. Tama smiled as if she just thought of something pleasant. Well, 8 now, including you, Ibuki-san. What? The fuck? Ron furrowed her brows, not understanding what Tama meant. But she decided not to scrutinize Tama's words, so she simply clawed a bit at her hair and gave up thinking about it. She'd already made up her mind last night in the school building that she didn't need to explain the mysteries of school. As long as she could get out of here, it'd be enough. Okay, so there's no teachers in the school then. So could you tell me where I should go if I want to leave? Ibuki-san, I'd love to help you, but it's impossible to leave right now. Ron narrowed her eyes. She figured it wouldn't be that easy. Still, if Ron could learn what the nature of the obstruction was, she'd be able to come up with a plan for it. Tama raised a hand and pointed towards the northwest. If you leave the school and then turn left, there's a tunnel passage that'll bring you to the nearby village. But there was an incident at the tunnel that caused a cave-in, so we can't leave through it, and there are no other ways out of the area. Ron's brows lifted at Tama's words. She instantly felt as though she was merely a step away from escaping this school. So that's how it is, huh? That's not so bad. I was worried it'd be some kind of cult or supernatural situation, but the fact that the exit exists at all is good news. It's just that it's blocked is all. An accident. So, when exactly did the tunnel get blocked? I don't know. We discovered the blockage Uh-oh. We discovered the blockage a year ago. Are you serious? A whole year! Ron stared with wide eyes, Tama's words echoing in her head. Tama nodded. Apparently she saw nothing wrong with her statement, instead looked curiously at Ron. Is something wrong, Ibuki-san? Of course there's something wrong with that! You said just now that the tunnel is the only way to get to the outside world from here. So none of you have gone home or talked to your families in a whole year? And if the road is blocked, then nobody can get in here, right? So what have you been eating? Are you telling me you've had a year's worth of supplies stored in your school? Really, from the moment that the school showed up in a place that's so inconvenient to visit and so isolated from other residential areas, the strangeness should have been self-evident. I don't know. There's always been enough to eat at the school. Ron couldn't help but let out a heavy sigh. Look, even disregarding the food thing, you're telling me the situation is that you all have basically been locked in here for over a whole year. You don't think there's anything weird about that? Tama had broken eye contact with Ron and was looking straight down at the ground while nervously fidgeting with her fingers. Yeah, I don't. Seeing Tama's reaction for a moment, Ron thought she was looking into a mirror. She quickly lowered her head in contrition. Contrition? I think? Sorry, I got a bit worked up, but you really aren't worried about being trapped here? I mean, calling it being trapped. We're supposed to stay at the school anyway until we graduate. I'm sure the tunnel will be fixed by then, so as long as we can leave by then, we'll be fine. Graduation, huh? But I'm sorry, Ibuki-san. Tama spoke timidly, interrupting Ron's thoughts. Can we hurry to the classroom? I'm afraid I won't have time enough to clean up. Tama's gaze slid all over the place nervously and unnaturally, trying to look anywhere other than into Ron's eyes. Ron could practically hear the grinding sounds. As if Ron could practically hear the grinding sounds. It was like she and Tama were gears spinning in opposite directions so that their teeth now clashed against each other. Is this really the time for cleaning? Ron decided to capitulate and go along with Tama for now. Sorry. Yeah, let's go then. A year. No matter how you think about it, being trapped in school for a whole year can't be called normal. Let's go ahead and meet the other students for now. See how they feel. With any luck, I'll find someone who wants to get out of here like I do. Ooh. Okay. Get a quick drink of water. After they entered the school building, Ron wanted to ask Tama whether she had any thoughts about the broken down staircase ahead of them. But the overly natural way that Tama had been behaving up to now made Ron think that even if she'd asked, Tama would only give some entirely inconsequential and irrelevant response. What was interesting, though, was that Tama took off her short boots at the shoe racks and placed them into her cubbyhole. She actually took out a pair of black wooden clogs for use as indoor shoes. And it looked like there wouldn't be any irritating clacks with wooden claws against wood flooring anytime in Tama's future. She walked in them with easy poise and utter silence, like she was taking a stroll in an early morning street, free of other pedestrians. Ron guessed that maybe Tama possessed some sort of special walking techniques or something. Like how in the movies, the maids in traditional hotels could run down the wooden halls together in a row without making any noise that might irritate a guest. Following Tama like this in the hallway, the difference between what she saw now and what she'd seen during the night made Ron feel like this place might not be so bad after all. In the past, she'd always arrived very early to school as well, but the school building from back then was just like the one here. Empty and devoid of everything except her and the last night's air. And later on, a certain Aunt Sakura would join Ron on her side on mornings like that. Miss Sakura, where are you? As Ron's brain spun a memory up for her, Tama, who was still ahead, suddenly stopped to pull out a red and black flip phone from an inner pocket on the upper half of her outfit. She opened the phone and tapped it a few times. Then her eyes began to shine as she raised a hand to cover her giggles. Tama seemed like she was trying to type something into her phone and held it with both hands, tapping clumsily on the numpad with her thumbs. What is it? Something good happen?
Oh, it's nothing, just... My roommate always sends me a text message every morning after she gets up. With fascinating content every time, too.
Tama smiled in self-evident bliss.
Asakura's son is my roommate. I believe she's been mentioned before.
Wait! Ron raised a hand, making a timeout gesture with it. You said you got a text?
Yeah, that's what they're called, right? It's that thing where I can look at the words that Asakota sent to me.
What time are you from? What is going on? Ron immediately put her own phone out of her pocket. She swiped open the screen only to find that the upper left corner continued to read no signal. Clear as day. No signal. Indo, can I see your phone?
Please go right ahead.
Tama presented her flip phone to Ron with both hands. The screen on Tama's phone read the exact same thought. Same though. No signal. It left her thoroughly vexed. Ron tapped her own phone number into the antique flip phone, but she only got a mechanical sounding female voice which informed her that she was unable to connect. Even more strangely, her phone, which definitely had a Japanese SIM card plugged into it, was emitting system error noises in Chinese. Alright, sure. Okay. So the students' phones must have been modified in some way? Sorry for the holdup. Here's your phone back. You carefully returned it to its interior pocket. One couldn't help but feel like the phone and the Hakama Tama were made for a bizarre combination, even though the flip phone itself was quite outdated as well.
I'm sorry. I don't understand much when it comes to how phones work.
You don't need to apologize about that. How come you're always trying to apologize, Indo? We can talk about the phone thing later. Let's just get going for now.
Okay, I have to make trouble for others because I don't know how to use my phone. So, Ibuki-san's reaction made me worried I'd done something wrong again. The way she thinks is as adorable as the way she looks. I wish I could touch her hair buns. It's fine. It's my problem, not yours.
Tama nodded. The two of them continued advancing down the hallways and quickly reached the class. I'm really enjoying all the characters so far. I don't know about you guys. I don't know, but I'm really enjoying all these all like the little dynamics and everything. It's been very nice. Also, Ron is a lot less of an anxious mess than I figured she was going to be. She's just kind of, yeah, you know? Like, kind of, because you know how, like, a depressed, like, you know, character, like, playing as a depressed character can be kind of depressing? I don't know how else to put it, but it just kind of puts you in a bad headspace, you know? I don't know. I also like that her issues don't necessarily define her. Like, she's a very well-defined person. It treats her with, like, a good amount of care, you know? I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying the game so far. I don't know if people are still in chat, but if you are, thank you. If you're not, that's totally fine too. I'm gonna go take a quick bathroom break, actually. I'll be right back in like 60 seconds. Be right back. I'm back. Sorry for the wait. Also, I completely thought that it would delay, that running an manual ad would delay the auto, like, fucking running the auto ads every fucking half hour, but no. Guess not. Ugh, God damn it. I fucking hate Twitch, man.
Let me help as well. Is there anything I can do?
Sure, Habuki-san. Thank you.
Aw. Could you wipe up the window and blackboard with a rag, please?
A dry rag will be fine.
Okay. Taking the opportunity to investigate if there's anything noteworthy in the cabinet, but she didn't find anything worth mentioning. Ron could only take a white rag and start wiping off the blackboard at a measured pace. After she finished cleaning off the blackboard, Ron raised her hand. Watching Thomas' petite form scramble all over the room cleaning things up, she suddenly felt like there was something strange about the classroom. By the way, Indo, why does the classroom have so many desks if you only got 7 students here?
Oh, that.
Thomas took a long breath, apparently very pleased with the fruits of her labor.
It was like this when we showed up here. We thought about reorganizing, but the desks are pretty heavy and moving them all would be a lot of effort. So we decided to just keep the place as it is, and we can use the spare desks as extras if we ever need them.
Ron feigned apathy and nodded, thinking to herself. This explanation just barely makes sense. It's similar to the question of why the students are packed up to a room despite how large the dormitory building is. It's not that weird on its own, but there's gotta be more reasonable ways to handle these things, right? But... Ron looked at Tama, who was reorganizing the storage cabinet with her back to Ron. Tell Indo that her suit fits her well. Yippee, I got enough charisma for it! Indo, that hakama looks wonderful on you. It goes really well with your hairstyle.
Really? Thank you, Habuki-san.
I really enjoy voicing these characters, though. Game's good. Ow! At bats! Hi! How you doing today? Ow!
The bats, what the fuck? Twice? 2 explosions?
Cruel. Cruel and unusual punishment. I've done nothing wrong in my life. Oh, thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. 5 months feels like a while. But yeah, welcome. We honestly, hard to describe the plot so far because not really much has happened. We woke up in a weird school. There are a lot of mysteries, but currently there are only 7 students, no teachers. The only exit is blocked, and we're just trying to figure this out. God, yeah, that is fucked up. Time isn't real. It was just made up by the woke left.
I was a little afraid to wear them at first, since it used to be that only the young mistresses were permitted to wear fine clothes like this. When I visited the instructor back then, I always had to wait by the window for the young mistresses' class to end. I always wanted to wear clothes the way they did and attend school like them. Not to mention the lengths that the young mistress and I were forced to go to after that earthquake. It was terrible.
In a departure from her usual strained demeanor, Tama had begun to speak in a higher-pitched voice. She was clearly quite excited.
That's why I'm so happy nowadays. My classmates are all so kind to me. They even get to wear such fine clothes such as these.
Young mistress. What did she mean exactly by not being allowed to wear fine clothes? Just, what is Indo talking about? Indo, where did you live before you came to school here?
Over in, Yokohama.
What, Yokohama? Wait, what did you say about an earthquake? In your clothes. In your clothes. Could it be? How could that be possible? I want to update that note. I want to see that note. New character who's very pretty, but has experienced the Great Kanto earthquake.
I'm assuming that's an actual historical event, so I'm gonna look that up. "1923. What the fuck is going on?" And considering we have a smartphone. What the fuck is going on? Charisma 7. Yeah, I can agree with that. What the fuck? Also, everyone in chat, look at the fucking cute ass doodles in the notebook pages. Also, Ron eats paper. I don't know what relevance that has yet, but is Yordano a delinquent? I sure hope she doesn't get violent. She's got the upper room all to herself, but she sleeps in the upper bunk. You know what? That's real as fuck. Yo, Luigi! Thank you for the gift. I appreciate it. It really does mean a lot to me. I hope. Ow! Wild difference in tone there, man. I guess it's not really an issue. The dormitory is beautiful. Why can't I click on the text? It doesn't do anything. Weird. Okay. The game's a little jank around the edges, I'm not gonna lie, but...
Whoa, a new face.
Okay, she says it's only been a year, right? Well, no, the entrance collapsed a year ago. How long have these people been here? Someone suddenly shouted from the classroom door. Ron turned her head and saw a female student with her hands in her pockets quickly stepping towards... Thank you, I appreciate it, Bats. The female student grinned. She seemed quite interested in Ron. So what's your name? Are you a transfer student? When'd you get here? Ron immediately noticed an embroidered crest on her uniform's breast. It had clearly been sewn on after the fact rather than being the crest of the school itself. Sorry, not trying to interrupt. Dude, nothing to apologize for. I appreciate the support. It genuinely does mean a lot to me. I will never... Don't worry. You're totally fine, and I appreciate you being here. Sorry, I'm also still really happy about... Ow! Thank you, Leg. Hi. I'm happy that you're still here, but I've just still got a dumb smile on my face from when RO said that I got them interested in the game and that they wanted to play it that they were heading out to play it for themselves. That makes me so happy. I know it's like, I'm happy it kind of reads like, oh, I'm happy no, but the whole reason I love doing this is because I love getting more people to appreciate these games. This game has, like, I think maybe... Again, the trailer has 1,000 views on YouTube, which is low. And the game just seems really, like, I've never heard anyone talk about it. There's no, like, Let's Plays on... There's, like, 2 Let's Plays on YouTube. I haven't seen any coverage of the game, and it's been really cute. And I can't wait for it to turn into a full fucking horror show, but... We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. These characters are going to die. I'm waiting for that other shoe to drop because the game is way too cute and enjoyable now. This shit is going to hit the fan. Anyways, okay, Eggy check, finally. Heck yeah. Aw, that is really cute, Leg. Yeah. Honk honk. Aw, that is adorable. That's a weird looking heart. Good enough. Prune juice pretty... I'm assuming this is Cookie Run stuff. Yeah. Are they the new one that's kind of hot? I don't know this game. Also, hi, Skomi. Okay. Did I just say kind of hot, like, on stream? Oh my god. It was a joke. It was a joke. I was slash J. Your Honor, it was a bit. I'm glad everyone believes me. Always, all the time. Look, would I ever lie on the internet? No, I'm awesome. But very, very cute art, leg, and smile. Or she could answer, though. Another student entered the classroom. Also, can I just say, I love the painted style of these character portraits. Like, man, they're so pretty. Like, look at this cool-ass art. Also, hi, Red! Welcome back.
What is it, I did something?
As soon as the latest arrival saw her on, the smile on her face fell instantly.
Who are you? Why would there be anyone here other than ourselves?
The female student had been addressed as Aya, was circling Ron and scrutinizing her from head to toe.
These two have different uniforms as well, though theirs are relatively more modern. Oh, hi, first-time chatter. I'm gonna ban you. Fuck you.
Explodes. How big is our ban list at this point? And it's like all bots, too. I don't think
I gotta get... I know that there haven't been any problem users in chat yet, but like...
if someone causes trouble, I gotta be more willing to ban them. Because I always feel really bad about it.
With quite the unified design language, no less. I'm Ranabuki. I found my way here after I got lost. Lost?
The second of the female students furrowed her brow, staring at Ron. What? I don't know what those are, but we're gonna... Oh, yeah? Luigi? Yeah, you got gifted! The voices of people speaking around you will appear in the form of speech bubbles in the upper right corner. No speech bubble will be indented further than the others, until the next bubble arrives, at which point it will return to its regular position on the right. If you miss a conversation, you can check the logs with marked with a star. Lines heard through eavesdropping this way will be recorded in the order in which they were heard. Beep boop, I'm a robot. Please give me your social security number. Okay, it's 3.
But we're in the mountains and the tunnel road's been closed off. So how'd you get...
I'm confused. How do I interact with the side conversations? Can I interact with the side conversations? Wait, no. 1, 2, 3. Okay, no, it is just going in order.
How did you get so lost that you wound up somewhere like this? The suspicious female student who wouldn't stop asking incisive questions seemed rather displeased. Ron, on the other hand, felt her mood brighten just a little. The student in the tuxedo uniform is the first person in school to actually ask why I appeared here at all. Oh. Are you on duty for today? Mm-hmm. No wonder Makoto's not here yet. She can't get up this early. She never gets up this early, does she? I'm more than happy enough with Asakuda's usual willingness to accompany me to class. Aw. Still, if I just tell her that I don't know what's going on either, it'll just make her more suspicious of me. Oh my god, 2 in a row?! Likely ban evader. Yet deny. It might even impede my ability to converse with the other students. My best hope now is to just blunder through and talk to her again later once I've understood her a little better. I don't know why, but I have a feeling she's going to be very helpful to me in the future. I can't remember either. I just know that I came to this place to look for someone, and then before I realized You haven't actually answered my question, have you? Are you hiding something? Okay, Miho, you can stop bothering the new girl now. The student named Aya put both her hands on Ron's shoulders, looking quite pleased. It's rare for us to get a new student. Try your best to get along with her. You go by Ron-chan, right? Ron-chan? Ron-chan. Ron-chan. Chan. Chan? It's Chan, right? It might be Chan. Ron-chan. Ron-chan? Ron-chan sounds wrong, but it might be right. I don't know. I'm Aya. Toyama. Aya Toyama. Aya Toyama. Heck yeah. I like the silly little anime. No, she's calling me. I'm assuming that's Ron-chan. I wonder what her notes are. Excitable and affectionate? What's the meaning of the crest? Neat neck choker? Just a bit taller than Indo. Think she's a rock star? Aw. Okay, I like her. She's cute. And the rude but cute one over there is Miho Takai? Takai, right? I think Takai. I suggest you keep your distance from her. Why are you... I know, I'm aware I'm a very suspicious character, but... still mean to me. Uncalled for. Rude, even. After dropping that parting shot, Miho retreated to her own desk as though she'd lost all interest in participating in a conversation related to Ron. Don't worry, Ron-chan. Miho always talks like that, but I know the truth. She's very happy that we got a new classmate in her school as well. Not in the slightest. I'm glad I picked up on her vibe immediately. You answered that way too fast! What even is up with these two? Are they doing a bit? Though Toyama's got a choker on her neck. Seems like she's got
rather particular taste. Fuck you! Don't diss them, okay? Fuck you! I just caught us straight for no fucking reason. Damn.
Toyama, did you embroider that crest on your uniform yourself? You're asking about the crest, Ron-chan, but you've been staring at my choker the entire time. That's what you're really curious about, isn't it?
Pointed at the star-shaped bangle dangling from the choker on her neck.
Because you were insincere, I'm not gonna tell you this time. Ask again later.
What? Well, that's not fair. I mean, how the hell are you supposed to start a conversation off by asking about a choker? Well, not important, I guess. Let's just ask what she thinks of the tunnel instead.
Look, Toyama, I can't afford to stay here too long. If there's any way out of here other than the collapsed tunnel, please let me know about it. Ways out, huh?
Even though I'd also like for you to leave as quickly as possible, there really are no other ways out. Why are you so mean to me? I've done nothing wrong in my life.
That said, are you implying you need to flee for some reason? You've completed whatever nefarious mission it was that you infiltrated the school for, so now you're getting ready to flee. You're being overdramatic. I really am just an ordinary high schooler who got lost, alright?
Mio turned away once again and began pulling textbooks out from her desk. Aya, on the other hand, deposited her head onto Ran's shoulders, facing Miho, and whispered,
Isn't she just like a shy kitten? She's adorable, right?
I love them! I love them so much! And all the characters' dynamics are so cute. Okay, we got 3 more characters to go through. Ron harbors positive feelings towards her, but even Ron can't explain. You know what? Teardrop mole. Incredibly pretty. Not as much as Misakura for. Very long legs. Ideal for. Ron. Don't make notes about people's ideal proportions in your notebook. Please.
Isn't she just...
Yeah.
So try not to let her rile up and do your best to get along together, Ron-chan.
I'll try, even though I'm more of a dog person.
One after the other! Damn! Shot right through the fucking heart. Fucked up.
As far as the school's concerned, I think Yorino's the only cat it needs. Well, I guess she's more of a feral cat, while Takai's more close. Well, Takai's closer to a house cat. I started giggling at Ron's words. She gave Ron a few pats on the shoulder, then bounced back to Miho's side, where the two of them started chatting about other things. Ron shrugged, folded up the rag, and headed towards the storage cabinet in the back of the classroom.
Thank you for helping, Ibuki-san.
No need to thank me. This place is immaculately clean, honestly. I barely even had anything to do.
More pretty ladies.
Tama-chan, finished with your daily duties?
Asakura-san!
After hearing Asakura's voice, Tama ran over to the back door immediately. Ron returned the rag to the storage cabinet and looked towards Tama and Asakura. So in this extended pet metaphor, if Indo is the puppy, then I suppose she's the owner. I imagine if Indo had a tail, she'd be wagging. This is a weird way to introduce your cast, but I mean, I don't... Yeah! Tama and Asakura didn't chat for long before Tama lifted a hand and gestured at Ron. Asakura's eyes widened up upon seeing Ron. She bent down and whispered a few more things to Tama. Tama nodded in response, and Asakura laughed before approaching Ron.
I wasn't expecting to see any strangers in this school.
Asakura held out her hand for Ron to shake.
I'm Makoto Asakura. Your name is Ronabuki, right?
Aww, very pretty art.
That's right, I'm Ronabuki, the Lost Wanderer. Math homework yesterday was so hard. Help me, Miko! Miho. How do you get homework when there's no teach? What the fuck is going on with this school? So she's that Asakura who's responsible for maintenance. She looks like the no-nonsense type. Absolutely not. You're only having trouble because you're lazy and you don't study. Seems like you're a pretty interesting person. Good morning, Tama. Though you might feel a little lost at first having just arrived, you'll find that everyone here is quite nice. You definitely won't find yourself bored. Good morning. Good morning, Takai-san. Everyone has indeed been quite friendly. Actually, I've been having trouble keeping up with mascots like Toyama-san as well. Charisma 7. I'm very curious. How many points do I got? Can I spare 2? Tama mentioned to me that she receives a text from you every morning, Asakura. She always gets quite excited whenever she brings you up. Asakura nodded. Asakura nodded, her eyes flitting over to Tama, who was in the middle of a conversation with Miho. Almost at this exact moment she looks over, Tama looked up and waved back at her as well. Well, there's always a new text from her sitting in my phone first thing every morning after all, so of course I have to send a reply. Asakura waved back to Tama as she continued speaking. Let's talk about you first for now, though. There's not a lot going on with me that's worth talking about. I'll help you with the homework after classes are over then. I like that she'll help. She'll help Tama, but not... Oh, that's cute. Not Toyama. Oh, Toyama, that's very cute. I like them all so much already, and I like that's a very unique way of doing, like, character dialogue that's, like, off to the side, like, you know, that isn't directly involved with the main character, since, you know, usually visual novels follow a main character's point of view, which is good, but, like, it can sometimes lead to feeling like the world kind of revolves around you, and so I really appreciate this as a way of showing that, like, the world doesn't revolve around you, that all these characters have intrapersonal relationships aside from you, and I think that's very cool. How long do you think the stream's gonna be? I don't know. We're still in the prologue, so... Also, but hopefully not too long, because I might just get to chapter 1 and then call it, because my throat is killing me. Ugh. Asakura, I have something very important to do, and I can't afford to stay here. Do you know where the nearest station is? Thank you, Takai-san. Asakura folded her arms in front of her chest and thought for a moment before speaking. Miho, I want you to teach me too! If you head west on the path that leads you out the school gate, you'll reach the tunnel eventually. If you go through that, you can find a station pretty quickly. But certain events have caused the tunnel to become blocked, so you're probably out of luck there. Because unlike you, Tama actually takes what she does seriously. No. I don't know when they'll send people to handle the situation either. Even someone like me who's in charge of maintenance at the school can't do anything about the tunnel. Whereas you just need to work harder and to spend less time with your guitar at night. Asakura started giggling to herself for some reason. Ron didn't see what was so funny, though. So, if you're planning to check it out for yourself, you should pick a later date. On the way here, I noticed the skies have already begun darkening. I imagine it's gonna rain pretty soon. Ron nodded in response. All the students seem to share the same attitude when it comes to the collapsed tunnel. Nobody seems to be concerned at all, even though it's such a major hazard. You said you had something important to do before, though. What did you mean by that? Ron blinked. She hadn't expected that Makoto Asakura would want to visit what Ron mentioned a few minutes ago, after answering Ron's questions. My girlfriend's missing. I'm looking for her. Girlfriend?
Makoto raised an eyebrow with deliberation.
Very well then. If you run into any problems at school, don't hesitate to give me a call.
Makoto waved goodbye to Ron and then took a seat with Tama.
Asakura and Nindo almost looked like mother and child next to each other.
Ron, seeing everyone else turn to their seats, headed for an empty desk near the classroom door as well. She sat down at the desk and took her phone out. The screen indicated that it was currently 6:52. She'd originally just wanted to burn spare time before the rest of the students arrived in the classroom to start their morning meeting. Once she saw her lover's photo, Ron gave a deep sigh and slumped into the desk. The noises of the other students' conversations around her faded into white noise as Ron remembered the time she spent alone with her lover in the classroom. Don't think about these things. Just focus on what's in front of you.
Good morning, everyone.
An unfamiliar voice came from above. Ron slowly turned her head and saw a new face. So counting this girl, I've seen 6 people now. Just missing the last one, then.
You're, why is there a stranger here?
Feels like I've heard that response a billion times by now. Good morning. My name is Ronabuki, and I got lost and arrived here by accident.
Lost here? How could that be?
The girl seemed somewhat panicked and looked towards the rest of her classmates for support. I flashed a big OK sign with both hands.
Don't worry, Prez. Ron-chan is a good classmate. Well, except for how she's an extremely suspicious outsider and all. Wait, give me a moment to calm down.
The class president laid a hand on her chest and took a couple of deep breaths before straightening herself and speaking.
I just realized, am I talking very fast? I don't know why I'm talking very fast. I don't know if that... Is that just me, or is that actually, like... I just feel like I'm talking very fast. And I'm sorry if I'm not speaking clearly. There's just been... It's been 3 hours straight of me talking, okay? It's not like it's a visual novel, so it's not like I have much else to do besides talk and read. Fair enough. The class president laid a hand on her chest, took a couple of deep breaths before straightening herself and speaking. Ron-chan, it's nice to meet you. My name is, Koizumi, Hinata. Koizumi Hinata. Trying to get these names so they come off right, but, I'm not familiar. I'm not the best with Japanese names. I'm doing my best, but I struggle. So I believe all these are very Japanese names, which is interesting considering that, I know, Ron was in Japan, had a Japanese SIM card at the very least, and was taught Japanese, but she's apparently, her native language is Chinese, and she's fluent, so I'm curious as to what the connection is between all these people. Because one's from at least, one's at least, 80 years old at this point. Actually, it is an iPhone, so it would have had to be, 2010s, something like that, so... Shit. I'm just gonna assume it takes place in present day, so that would be almost fucking 100 years old. Tama, what? So I'm not entirely sure. Thanks, but my name is Ronabuki, not Ron-chan. Look, Miss President, I'm just trying to figure out a way to get out of here. I don't plan to join the class, and besides, I'm not even from here in the first place. Do you know a way to get out of here, Class President? It's unfortunate, but the only path out of here, the tunnel can't be used at the moment. Heard that one a billion times as well today. Okay, so do you know when it might be fixed, then? I don't know either, but it won't have any effect on our life here at school, so you don't need to worry about it at all. Ibuki-san. Come here. Come on. Let's get you up to the front of our classroom so you can introduce yourself. Why? No, I'm not at transfer Go on up there, Ibuki. I thought you liked to run your mouth. So I entered the classroom from the rear entrance, took a seat in the second furthest row from the front, still carrying a bag in her hands. You're him. Ron realized that everyone in the class was looking at her now, with Koizumi's expression being particularly enthusiastic. If I keep refusing, it'll just make my presence here awkward. There's no need for me to push back against all of them at the same time. Wonder if Yorino picked this moment to show up on purpose, though. Alright then, as you wish, President. Koizumi looked quite pleased, and without even setting her own school bag down, first grabbed Ron and started to pull her towards the lectern. But she moved too quickly and inadvertently tripped over one of the corners of the lectern. At that moment, Ron stepped up and caught the class president. Yeah! Ah! Ah! Whoa, class rep! Ron dashed forward, catching Koizumi with her left hand and her school bag with the right. Are you okay, class president? I am fine, thank you. Ron noticed that Koizumi had taken a very sharp intake of breath just then, as though she'd be panicked or scared about something. Ron decided to say something to try and calm her down. Past you and Shirley have never thought of such a thing. It's all thanks to Misaka's support that I've become capable of engaging with strangers. Okay. You were so close! Not quite, man! Not quite! Just completely swing and a miss! You smell quite lovely this morning, class president. What brand of shampoo? No, stop! I'm uncomfortable. Hey, okay. You were set up real nice there for a sec. You smell quite lovely this morning, class president. What brand of shampoo do you use? Don't say that. Lovely? Is it that lovely? I don't remember. This morning I just used someone else's shampoo while showering at the dorms. Koizumi's hands clung tightly to Ron's shoulders. The pace of her breathing quickly became quite irregular. Oh, wait, what's this? Ron happened to still be holding on to Koizumi's school bag with her right hand. She noticed that she could feel a strange texture in her palm. What is this in here? It's soft. Not like a textbook at all, and when I apply pressure... Is it a squeaky toy? A plastic bag? And it feels like there's something thick and slippery inside of it. Ibuki-san, I'm fine now. Excuse me. Koizumi was blushing furiously in that shoes. Oh! Oh! Ha! What the fuck? Okay. And that she was studious, letting Koizumi stand up on her own. Only then did she notice that Koizumi was blushing furiously and that she was studiously avoiding Ron's eyes. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm just gonna ignore that implication. We're just gonna move on. Is there something wrong, President? Do you have a fever? No, it's just when you embraced me just now, Ibuki-san, I got a little nervous. So my heartbeat went into disarray. Huh. And pegged you for a jokester, class president. No, I really was. No, never mind. Suddenly, I arose with a shout. Class president, did I just see you and the transfer student embracing each other? What? No, Ibuki-san just stopped me from falling. That's all. You clearly also saw me trip, didn't you, Toyama-san? Aya, don't make fun of Hinata. Okay, got it. After Miho finished speaking, Aya sat back down in her seat obediently. My apologies. I made a laughingstock of myself before all of you. First time I've ever heard anyone say the word laughingstock in everyday conversation. Hi! Hiya! Welcome to the school where you can't get out, and there are only 7 students and no teachers, and everyone seems fine with it. I don't know what's going on. But all the characters are very cute, and I enjoy them a lot, and they're going to die horrifically. Like, it's gonna be real fucked up. I'll be fine with it, actually. Yeah. Fair enough. Please proceed with your self-introduction, Ibuki-san. Sure. Try to be more careful, class president. Ron stepped to the lectern and swept her gaze over all the students in the classroom. President, should I really start my introduction now? Aren't we missing someone? Ah, that's right, she hasn't arrived yet. The class president's response seems a little strange. Everyone's gonna die, never mind. Well, they haven't died yet. Sakura-san hasn't shown up yet, but she woke up even earlier than I did this morning. I'd have thought... someone with the same family name as Miss Sakura? Now I'm worried about meeting them. Nada, have you forgotten? Wait. No fucking shot! No way that this is her, like, missing girlfriend. She did go missing 4 years ago. Oh god. Mio spoke lightly with her fingers interwoven and steepled. We picked lots yesterday. It's possible that she's the victim this time around. What? We picked lots yesterday. She's the victim? What? What? Why are you so casual about this? Are they stuck in a time... Bad news, gang! They might be stuck in a time loop! Actually, a time loop would fit not terribly into things. It would explain... and people can enter the time loop, but they can't quite leave. And everyone's just repeating the same year again, again, and again. But they're not aware. They don't seem aware of it. They said what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? Because Thomas specifically said that the tunnel collapsed a year ago. I'm going to assume that several people were around. I'm so confused. Is this a Danganronpa? It might be a Danganronpa. Oh god damn it, there's no T. It's a Danganronpa. Victim? Being a Danganronpa, when's that coming? I don't know. Ron ruminated a strange phrase, one which wasn't supposed to show up in a regular conversation between high school students. What are they talking about? We raised all 100. I know. That's why I'm like, I want to do it eventually, but also I really don't want to play it, because, to be honest, the games kind of make me a little uncomfortable. There's some weird
stuff. So I'm trying to figure out what to do. Because I can't just refund the points back, so I'm like, man.
If Sakura was a victim, then she might already be dead. What the fuck? I'm gonna go grab a quick drink of water, because I've been fucking
Going through it, because my throat is really sore. So I'll be, like, right back. Give me 2 minutes. I have been practically chugging it down between every line. It has been brutal. I am really sorry for the amount of introductions. It's been brutal. Like, I genuinely feel really bad about it, but I don't want to risk my health, so the frequent breaks for, like, just, like, a minute. Dead? Ron let out a small shriek. Gosh, this round's killer sure got to work. What are you all talking about? Then according to the rules, we're gonna have to cancel the morning classes and skip right to the coursework. As soon as Sai finished speaking, she picked up her bag and left her seat. Ron looked around in bewilderment, hoping someone would explain things to her, but the others were also cleaning up their things and getting ready to leave. I saw Sakura earlier this morning while swimming. It's possible her corpse is somewhere around there. Let's go. Hold on! Ron couldn't stand the growing stress in her heart anymore. She felt like she was going to explode from the pressure if she didn't do something about it. Just what are you all trying to say? That person who didn't show up, you called her Sakura. Ron couldn't breathe and she couldn't say the name. She lost control of her heartbeat again and clenched her fists until her fingernails pierced the skin of her palm to forcibly regain control over her emotions. Ron had to take several deep breaths before she was able to speak normally again. That person who hasn't showed up yet. What did you say happened to her? Koizumi approached Ron, seeming rather concerned about Ron's sudden irregular behavior. What's wrong, Ibuki-san? Are you feeling unwell? Forget that! Answer me! Ron's outburst stunned Koizumi slightly, who froze up without giving her an answer. Miho, seeing the situation, intervened quickly and spoke. As they said, the person who hasn't showed up yet has most likely already been killed. And the killer is one of the 6 of us. Hearing those words, Ron's brow furrowed. She looked at everyone in this room, trying to divine from their expressions if this was some practical joke they were all playing on her, to no avail. The stress that immediately came upon her afterwards pushed her half to her knees. She was forced to lean against the wall for support as she broke out into sweat again. She felt the urge to dry heave, a sign that her illness was about to act up again, but she didn't want to reveal those symptoms to anyone in this room. Oh my god, also it is a Danganronpa. God fucking damn it. An image of a torn sheet of paper flashed through her mind once again. You're saying that you've killed someone? We've already said it a bunch of times, haven't we? Yes, one of our classmates has been killed by someone in this class. They once again confirmed the truth of this bizarre situation. What's going on? What the fuck is happening in this school? What kind of place have I been brought to? Were things fine just a moment ago? How did it suddenly become like... At this point, the other students had circled Ron, who was squatting on the floor. They were all looking at her. But Ron, the subject of their gaze, was afraid to look at them for fear that she'd see that their faces had already begun to melt. Ibuki, why are you freaking out? Why should I not be freaking out? Ron was quietly hyperventilating. Forget seeing the corpse! Just your nonchalant attitude and the way you're talking about something like this is enough to make me want to panic like a crab in a deep fryer. I sure ain't never seen a crab that can crack a joke like that, though. That can crack a joke like that after it's already been thrown in the fryer. Ron used the periphery of her vision to peek at Sai's face. It didn't look like there were any irregularities. She relaxed slightly at that and slowly raised her head to look at the other students. You don't look like you're putting up an act. Mio bent down and began to gently stroke Ron's back. I'm responsible for filling the role of the school nurse. Here, let me take a look at you. No, I think the missing person is the one who really needs your attention right now. Mio chuckled a little. You're absolutely right. You think there's nothing wrong with yourself? Come along. Let's go find the corpse together. Mio offered a hand for Ron to take as she turned to speak with Sai. Yorino-san, lead the way, if you will. Sure thing. Fair warning, though, I don't actually know if her corpse is really there. All I know is that I saw her hanging around there while I was swimming. Mio pulled Ron to her feet and then nodded at Sai. I think it's quite likely that's the place, then. After all, Ron hardly ever visits the swimming pool. Oh, fuck! It is her! That's true. I've never seen Ann go swimming of her own volition. So she might have met with the killer there before getting killed. Then we should get going quickly. Why are they all saying her first name now? Is it as if to rub it in? We should deal with it sooner rather than later so she can be at peace, right? Just as the three of them finished speaking, a loud noise came from the direction of the lectern. Ron, who just managed to get to her feet, had once again fallen to her knees. Trembling all over, she seized Miho's wrist with both hands. Ron stared at her with such intensity that even the normally unflappable Miho Takai was startled, flinching backwards instinctively. The person who didn't come. The one you said might have been killed. What was their name? What was their name? Miho seemed like she was suppressing her own disoriented thoughts to keep herself calm. She turned her wrist and grabbed Ron's hand, trying to pull her off the ground. Ron's tight grasp on her almost caused Miho to collapse instead. Answer me! What was her name? What's up with you? Alright, I really don't know why you have to ask about this right now, but the name of the person we've been talking about is An Sakura. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Ron Ibuki had always liked the rain. He especially loved it when it started storming without warning. Watching strangers outside her window scramble around for shelter while she hid safely at home gave her an indescribable sense of security. When she told Ann about this, her love asked her, "But how would you feel if I were the one trapped in the rain?" How did I answer her back then? Ron trailed behind everyone else as they headed towards the place where Sai said she had last seen Ann. She didn't say a word, and only occasionally looked up towards the sky, watching the dark clouds slowly converge. If Sakura-san knew she might get killed, why would she go over there in the first place? Yeah, she's always been pretty cooperative with her killers. What the fuck is going on? She never put up much of a fight whenever I was supposed to kill her either. What? What? The students ahead of her seemed quite at ease. Spent the whole trip discussing Ann and the murder with each other. Ah, that's true. Whenever it's Ann's turn to be the victim, the culprit always tends to strike quickly. Now, hang on. You shouldn't let yourselves get spoiled just because Ann's so easy to work with. If we keep relying on her cooperation, then we'll have to change the rules eventually.
Shouldn't we just focus on who the culprit is first, anyways? If she really did die near the swimming pool, then wouldn't that make me the prime suspect?
Does that make Yono-san the culprit then?
And let me tell you, it's not a bad thing to be so straightforward, but you're not gonna find the answer that way.
Hey, it's not like she's completely straightforward. Tama frequently surprising me all the time with things she chooses to do. Isn't that right, Tama?
Tama shook her head fiercely.
I just picked up a few things from my book is all, because I hadn't had the chance to read often before. And despite knowing my methods, Asuka's never exposed me before.
Oh, we did read those books together after all. Listening to the students' conversations, Ron began scratching her scalp again, but it didn't stop the pressure from rising within her.
Hey, are you okay?
Slowing her steps, Mio came to Ron's side. No. I'm fine. Shouldn't you be happy that I'm suffering, anyways? I thought you hated me. Ron turned her head away, not wanting to speak to Miho.
You're making me sound like some kind of psychopath.
I don't hate you, okay? I just wanted to know why you showed up here, at our school. Miho tilted her head slightly and inspected Ron's face carefully. Pale face, trembling lips. Pupil dilation's pretty unnatural, too. Heavy headache. A bit. Miho pressed her hand against Ron's forehead for a moment. Well, at least there's no fever. Alright, I can probably imagine what you're thinking. You knew on previously, didn't you? I could tell from your uniform. The other students should have noticed as well. So once you heard she'd been killed, you weren't able to wrap your mind around the idea. Which is why you're in your present condition. The first time we went through all this, we had pretty much the same reaction as you did. But once we got used to it, we found that it wasn't a big deal after all. As soon as Miho had stopped speaking, Ron seized Miho's shoulder with a sudden hand. Noticing that something wasn't right, the other stopped as well.
Got used to what? Murdering your own classmates? Discussing this disease with a mockery? Just explain to me! Why do you have to do things like this? You've really committed murder?
Don't be so quick to judge things you don't understand, Ibuki.
Well, make me understand then, damn it! Explain what exactly it is that you've done, clearly!
Ron felt Miho pressing a hand onto Ron, so she turned her head and met Miho's eyes. Ibuki-san, please, calm down. Let's find On's corpse first. Then we'll explain everything to you, properly. Right now, even if we tried to tell you everything, you'd still have a hard time comprehending it. But if you see the corpse, I'm sure you'll understand as well. Ron's hand trembled and she shook her head helplessly. Could I possibly understand? Ron let go of Miho. Now it was Miho's turn to take hold of Ron's shoulders. Let's go.
Don't worry, Ibuki-san. Sakura-san will be okay.
Faced with Tama's supportive words, Ron had no idea how she was supposed to respond. She could only force out the barest of grimaces.
Asakura-san, will the swimming pool freeze this year as well?
Yeah, the temperature's already gotten pretty low. It'll probably freeze over very soon. Yorno, you should consider less spending time swimming too. If you get a cramp in the swimming pool during the winter, I definitely won't jump in to save you. Not like I've ever seen you there even when it wasn't winter. Plus, I'm used to it already. It'll be fine. Used to it? Used to what? I'm assuming used to the cold, but I'm also used to dying is my thing. Like, drowning.
Ooh, once it snows again, can we build snowmen in the courtyards? Let's build a chibi and Miho in the snow together, Sai-chan.
Yeah, are you bringing that back up on purpose?
Oh right, that one time Sai-chan got killed, they hid your corpse in a snowman, didn't they? Why are they all so casual? Almost scared me to death when I went to shovel up the snow that day.
All I can say is that sure is Tama for you, always exceeding our expectations.
Don't! Oh my god, that's so fucked. What the fuck is going on?
Tama's embarrassed expression made everyone crack up.
What in the hell? Yeah, no, they definitely have been, but also... What the hell?
We're almost there. See the old chat room up ahead? I saw Sakura go in there this morning. Ron lifted her head, looking where I was pointing. I even found it odd at the time, since I only ever used the new shower room at the other end myself. The old showers are a lot less convenient. So that's where Miss Sakura is right now. Ron took a few steps forward, eyes glued on the showers. Oh, I know, but still, it feels very fucked up for them to address it so, like, casually, you know? Ibuki-san?
Ron rushed towards the old shower room and pushed me, who was standing in front of her, out of the way with one hand.
Ibuki-san!
Ron's footsteps grew faster and faster. She knocked Sai's shoulder out of the way as she charged forwards. Ron rushed in the shower room that Sai had indicated. Clutching the frame of the door, she stared at the girl leaning against the wall before her. Ron pulled her shoulders in, not sure where she should put her hands. She flailed her arms meaninglessly in the air as though she'd forgotten how to control her own body. Finally, she brought her hands before her own face, letting her fingers wander up and down her face like kudzu. Ran pried her mouth open with her hands, and finally let out a shriek. Without question, the corpse in front of her was the love of her life. Sakura. Oh, this is extremely Danganronpa. There was a horizontal cut in the young woman's neck, which split the muscle and exposed blood vessels and vertebrae to the air. How far back does the dialogue go? I'm not actually sure. Does the Steam page mention Danganronpa? No. Okay. I know a Steam review did, but yeah, no. Massive amounts of blood gushed forth from the wound, straining the collar of her shirt, and continuing downwards to cover on Sakura's black outerwear with blood stains. Looking up, Ron saw that On's long locks of hair had been splattered with blood. In that moment, she could only think that she ought to put those locks into her own mouth. She could suck the blood out. Aon always hated it when her blood got dirtied, after all. All Ron could think about was how she had to get her hair clean immediately, or else On would surely be disconsolate about it later. Such disjoint thoughts couldn't restore Ron's composure to her, as she slowly looked downwards. There was a slight tilt to the odd shower room's floor, which was causing the blood to flow towards the right. By now, it had converged into a river. Blood pooled over the drainage grate, slowly dripping, drop by drop, into the shadowy drain. In that moment, the sound of the dripping slammed itself into Ron's sanity over and over again like a sledgehammer. Ron fell to her knees. She barely managed to catch herself with her elbows, bringing her into contact with the still flowing blood. Looking down, she saw her newly red-stained hands and knees, and immediately arched her back and started tearing furiously into her own scalp. Nails scratched sharply against skin, letting spine-chilling sounds reminiscent of flesh being torn, interspersed into what was Ron's on and off weeping. Sakura. Ron's hands clawed even harder. Already there were traces of blood and skin stuffed under her fingernails. She felt like she was dangling on a spider's thread. That thread itself, the only thing keeping her from losing her mind to hell. The thing that had cast that thread in the first place was the mockery that the others had made of the murder with their playful words.
Ibuki's son.
Miho seized Ron's hand from behind.
What are you doing?
Sakura's blood.
I'm telling you, An's fine. You're the one who's really scaring me right now.
Miho helped. I hope you're liking the voice acting for this, by the way. I am trying very hard to give it the emotional weight of holy fuck. 'Cause holy fuck! It's you I'm worried about. Miho helped her up, but Ron immediately lost her balance and collapsed onto Miho's back.
Can't stand up.
Miho held Ron's wrist with her waist with her left hand and gently patted her back with the right. Ron shook her head, her whole body powerless, and then she suddenly awoke and seized the collar of Miho's uniform with a trembling hand. Which one of you six killed her? Who was it? I'm gonna wait for ads, because this is kind of a big scene. Actually, I don't know. I think everyone currently in chat is subbed, so... Who was it? Tell me! Please, just calm down and let us explain. Listen to you. I've been looking for her for so long. I finally managed to see her again. You finally managed to see her again. So why did it have to be like this? Why did it have to be like this? Ron slowly released her grip on Miho's shirt as she wept unintelligibly. Miho didn't get angry with Ron's actions at all. She continued gently stroking Ron's back, trying to reassure her. She whispered quietly into Ron's ear. Uki-san, An's not dead. Come back to her. Ron shook her head furiously. I don't understand. I don't understand a word of what you're saying. Don't keep making me. Soon the other students arrived on the scene as well.
Oh, yeah, corpse sure is right there. I guess I really am the prime suspect then. Since it's near the swimming pool, let's presume that Yorino is the killer for now and start investigating. I swear, Asakura. Let's hurry and begin. Let's solve this case quickly and wake Sakura-san back up so we can cheer Ibuki-san up too.
Koizumi headed over to An's body and bent down, preparing to touch her. Don't touch her! Ron's reaction startled Koizumi, who pulled her hand back immediately and left it into a stiff pose as if she was a misbehaving student who'd been told to stand in the corner and think about what she'd done wrong. Ron pushed Miho away and quickly stepped in front of Sai. I am done trying to understand what the hell you lot are saying! But you said people who die here can still come back to life, right? Tell me what I have to do!
Ron-chan seems really upset.
Yeah, I wonder why, man! No reason, man. Just... Even though Ron's emotions been heavily perturbed by the sight of An's corpse, she was very aware that her rationality hadn't completely shut down yet.
She probably knew An before this.
She remembered that everyone at the scene had either directly or indirectly mentioned this completely incomprehensible idea that the dead would ultimately reawaken. And based on their attitude to them, killing their classmates and reviving the dead was completely commonplace and mundane at this point.
I heard her say in the classroom that she was looking for her... I heard her say in the classroom that she was looking for her missing girlfriend.
If Ron hadn't noticed these things, she would have long since completely lost her sanity at An's death and allowed her condition to consume her.
Could she have meant An?
In fact, curiosity would probably have driven Ron to verify their outlandish claims anyways, had the victim here been anybody other than An Sakura. Basically, what you need to do is identify the culprit and recount the steps she took to commit the murder. If you recount everything correctly, Sakura will come back to life. How does the revival work? Hey. The girlfriend? I like that everyone's shocked about girlfriend. Since when did the two of you get so synced up? How does the revival work? I can't imagine such a thing. First the wounds mend, then the blood regenerates, and all their heart begins to beat again. Before this, well, there was this one time that the culprit cut off the limbs of the victim and hid them in different locations all over the school. They even cut open the victim's abdomen to expose their internal organs. Sai's expression grew complex and she shrugged before continuing. We got to see for ourselves the full process of the victim's revival that time, so trust me. With such relatively light wounds as these, Sakura won't take more than a few seconds to come back to life. Uncovered her mouth as she imagined the scene that Sai had described. What kind of revival she's talking about is the type that restores the existing body while retaining the soul of the deceased. That means it can't be the Golem delivery service. They are construct entirely new bodies for the dead without retaining the soul. This is a really interesting world, actually. What the fuck? I wonder... Yeah, that makes sense. I like that her notes become disorganized at her distress. That's very cool. But let me check terms real quick. The Golem Delivery Service is a non-physical conceptual entity with the power to restore those killed by a certain method. The details of which are unclear due to Ranabuki's memory loss due to the state they were in 1 hour prior to dying. Though survival discards the laws of physics and ends only when the one who is directly or indirectly responsible for killing the revived individual suffers brain death. In order to prevent the resurrected dead from being discovered by others, Ron had been obligated 3 times to personally restore them to their natural... Resurrected dead from being discovered by others. What the fuck does that mean? Prevent the resurrected dead from being discovered by others. Personally restore them to their unnatural state of existence. What the fuck does that mean? Conceptual identity. Like, what the fuck? I'm very confused. What do you mean? Could it be Mr. Blood Sculptor? I remember that one could repair corpses by causing wounds to grow new tissue. Forget the girlfriend thing. Forget the girlfriend thing. Ibuki's gone mute again. It's just really funny, actually. She just canonically just zoning out in thought for like 10 minutes. That's awesome. The blood sculptor requires a massive amount of readily available blood on hand, though, and I don't know if it has the power to preserve the soul. I've never seen it operate on a corpse, either. It's like this happens to her whenever she's thinking about something. Yeah, almost like she's thinking. There's plenty of other anomalies related to revival. No, most of those involve retrieving the dead from elsewhere altogether, leaving the original corpse where it lies. Oh, Asakura-san sometimes... Oh, Asakura-san sometimes goes all quiet. Sometimes goes all quiet face, gets all serious face too. I can't imagine what kind of power it would take to enact revival in the original corpse itself. Is that so? I must have been thinking about you then. Oh, god damn it. In fact, with the conditions for resurrection... Oops. With the conditions of resurrection being as bizarre as this, perhaps it's not a passive mechanism, but rather a conscious entity actively deciding whether the dead should be revived or not. Damn, I can't figure it out. If only Lady Haru were here, she'd surely be able to see the answer instantly. Who the fuck is Miss Ibarra? Her full name is Yukari Ihara. Whoa, they misspelled it then. Nope. Ibarra. Yeah, no, they just misspelled it. Huh. Minor typo. According to her, this is a pseudonym. Apparently an ordinary human. Based on current recorded interactions between Ron and Yukari
Yukari. However, she possesses both exceedingly sharp intellect and deep insight into certain cognition-distorting anomalies, the details of which are unclear due to Ron Ibuki's memory loss, both of which seem impossible for an ordinary human to possess. Ibuki is on cordial terms with her and often receives her assistance. Miss Ihara claims she aided Ron because she sees many similarities between herself and Ron. Interesting. How come you keep going into mute mode like that? Ron sniffed a bit and forcefully wiped away her tears. Her eyes were still a little red from crying. I understand. I was going to find the culprit anyways, no matter what. If this can bring Miss Sakura back to life, then all the better. And when that happens, I will take Miss Sakura away from this place. Well, you'll have to ask for permission for that, but I guess that's none of our business. Of course, Miss Sakura will agree. After all, she's my girlfriend. Girlfriend? Is that true? That's the first I've heard of it. Anna's never mentioned you to us. Or never mentioned me? What? Forget it. I can figure that out later. What the fuck is going on? On turned and approached Tom's corpse. She kneeled down and brushed strands of hair away from On's face so she could see it more clearly. The face she'd sought for so long made On's heartbeat almost stop for a moment, and she wanted to do nothing more than pick up On and give her a deep kiss. But On Sakura's bloodless face and the stench of blood all around them forced her to remain calm. Please, just endure it for a little bit longer, Miss Sakura. I'll find the truth, no matter what the causes. I've now been forced to participate in what they consider ordinary, everyday life. The school that's been isolated from the outside world for a year, without being affected at all. The linguistic abnormalities. These students who murder each other and revive the dead by finding the culprit. And the rest of this strangeness. I have to keep my wits about me at all times. If I let myself believe, like they do, that all this is completely normal, and it's possible that I'll never be able to get out of here. Miss Sakura, you have to wake up. Please. I'm nothing without you. Okay. I think I'll probably close it here just because my throat is really hurting, and I feel like this is going to be a very intense case for Ron. And I'm very, very curious. I want to see where it goes from here. So, I think I'm gonna go raid. I'll see you, yeah. Man, this game's good. This game's really good. I'm really enjoying it. Mild violence. Yeah, Oh, hi, intro. While you're playing, I'll go find someone to raid. Again, thank you all so much for coming. I had a lovely time with you all. I hope you all had a lovely time with me. And I will see you all tomorrow with Bloodborne! Who's live? Who's live? Coops is live, okay. Fuck it, why not? They are currently doing Played Up. I have no idea what that game is, but should be fun. I will see you all very, very soon.
And by that I mean tomorrow for the rest, for more Bloodborne. This was a lovely time. Thank you all so much for coming. I'm so glad I got to share this game with you all. And I will see you all, tomorrow. Good night!